2018, I had a cardiac arrest. So after that,
Can I ask how old you were when you had your cardiac arrest?
I was 46. We all need a wake-up call, right? We all get a wake-up call in some form or another. It's just how we use it.
Any times when you're like in a oh shit moment, like this might be the end?
You know, I don't want to make any less dough. I want to make more dough. I can help more people. But I also want to go play. I want to do fun shit more.
Do you actually ever see yourself retiring?
I think the scary part is that if you say, I'm going to retire at 60, it's like, are you preparing to die?
There we go. Colin, welcome to the show. Coke Zero for the boys.
Yeah, here we go. Let's roll it out right.
Oh.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for having me. Honored to be here.
Thanks for coming on. So you walked in about 5 minutes ago, and instantly I was like, I know this fucking guy. You used to buzzed head and no beard, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Heavy metal?
Totally.
That's it. Yeah.
That's where I recognize you from, too.
Yeah, I used to work out there, and you were the fucking jacked up guy and bald head. And
I got teased a little bit. Like, you can't grow hair anymore, so I just had to prove to everybody that I could still grow it.
Why did you have the shaped head before that?
Yeah, it's just always how I rolled.
Okay.
But it was low maintenance,
Oh, yeah.
right? Dudes with hair have extra time on their hands to deal with this stuff. I didn't want to do that. So it's like, okay, let's just shave this shit off and just call it a day. So I just rolled bald. Now it's like, you know what? I need a different look, and I'm going to prove those guys I can actually grow a decent head of hair. I mean, it's running away from my forehead a little bit, but that's okay.
I think you have a great hairline, man, and a great beard, too. Love the beard.
There we go. I'm due for a trim, but it's like the maintenance on that now. It's like, how often do you got to go do this? It's like every 3 weeks, it's every 4 weeks, and it's every 3 weeks. And I'm on massive collagen right now. I'm really trying to get my knees back into shape from my injury. So it's like everything is just growing like crazy. My fingernails, I mean, I can trim them once a week. It's like quite funny, right?
What did you do to your knee?
Tore my ACL mountain biking.
Ooh, recently?
Well, not full tear, a light tear, but yeah. A couple years ago now.
Okay.
But it's just a lagging injury. And you get that arthritis and you're grinding away and your bones getting older. You lose your meniscus. Let's try and grow that back. So I'm like, I'm on it. And it's working.
Yeah. Do you have to do surgery at all, or?
No, just scoped it.
Okay. Yeah. I did my MCL and totally fucked my meniscus a long time ago. It took like 4 years to even get in to see the doctor. And then,
Whoa.
yeah. And then they scoped it, and nothing they could do for the MCL by that point. It had healed as much as it could, but they took out a ton of cartilage, ton of my meniscus, cleaned it all up, and it was a long road to recovery, but I have no issues now. So
did you rehab yourself?
yeah, I did a bit of like physio, but I found most of the physios, it's things that I already know how to do. They're like, step up onto this box, ride this bike, like just be mobile. And eventually you start to put some progressive overload on it. And then, yeah, just sort of kind of got better on its own.
Good for you. Well, that's the thing. That's what I've been doing too. Hit the collagen, hit the good vites, get the stuff growing in there. And then I did hot and cold treatments in between, like riding bike. I could ride a bike like crazy. So that's all I did, was just ride bike, build that muscle, get that joint moving, and then just started training lightly. And then I did lots of band work, and it's working really well.
Yeah, I found every single injury I think I've had for lower body, the first thing they're like, get on the bike, start pedaling. So if you're already doing that, you can go out and have some fun mountain biking. That's what you do, mountain bike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, mountain biking out there, have some fun. Maybe you're not doing the downhills that you were before while you're rehabbing it, but you're still out in nature and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, just get riding. Just get exercise. Like you said, get mobile.
Yeah. Is there a story with that? Did you crash pretty hard, or?
When you try to ride above your skill level, not that guys don't do that, but I think every one of us has. And I was riding with a couple friends, and they're really, really good. They're ex-pros. And they're like, okay, we're going to take you for a ride. And I'm like, let me think about that for a second. Yeah, you're going to be super fun to ride with. I'm going to get some skills. I'm going to learn some stuff. I'm going to watch you. I couldn't keep up to them. So I tried to keep up to them, and bam, end up eating shit.
Yeah, I got a couple buddies, and they're all of them broken both collarbones and ankles and torn stuff. And I mean, it must be quite the sport, because I don't know anyone that's a mountain biker that's ever injured themselves and not gone back.
It's funny. I wiped out in Valemont, and there's some big riding there. You go to the hospital when you wipe out, and they have a map on the wall of all the trails up there, and they say, okay, put a pin on the wall where you wiped out. And I look at the pins on the wall, and it was like, holy shit, man, there's a lot of pins up there. There's a lot of wipeouts up there. I'm like, what's the program of this? Well, this is where we can kind of figure out how we need to fix the trails so we can make it better and maybe less injuries. And I'm like, that's super smart. But my first impression was like, damn, there's a lot of us fools out there wiping out on that corner.
Yeah, that's actually what went through my head when I was like, I bet you they're having some sort of project to, maybe that corner's too steep, or that jump needs to be 4 inches higher or something, so you can clear the gap, because there's guys going ass over tea kettle and breaking their collarbones.
Oh, crazy guys! They're crazy guys. I mean, I'm not no big mountain bike dude. Don't get me wrong. If she's 2 wheels are on the ground and we're rolling pretty medium speed, I'm really happy. I'm doing well. None of that big crazy big air and jump and stuff. So, but those guys are nuts up there. They're absolutely nuts up there. It's a great place.
I've got a guy coming on Wednesday, a younger guy, Jacob Dean's his name, and he's Kamloops boy, and he's got some pretty fucking gnarly wipeouts, man. Like,
no kidding.
The one I watched the other day, he's going and he's hitting this jump, and he's doing like trying to maybe a double backflip or a backflip, and he hits it, and then the one time he hits it and he goes off to the side, and they had like a wheelbarrow there, and he's boom on top of it, and he's just like out, and then he keeps going back, man.
No.
So, but I'm pretty sure he's at the pro level though. So
he's got to be younger too.
Yeah, I think he's like early 20s. So
yeah, okay. Well, you can bounce back from that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not bouncing back from that.
Over 50, you fall down. It's harder to get up.
Is that where you're at? Over 50 now?
Yeah.
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 I wouldn't put you to that. Maybe just trim the beard a little bit. You'd take off 10 years. But
well, that was with being bald too, because I think you look a little bit younger sometimes, right? But it's like, okay, cool. Let's just roll with this. But yeah, you know what? Just take care of yourself and really get focused on that health and aspect of like trying to be younger.
Yeah. I know my with my watch, it tells me like my fitness age, and I look back and there's a graph for the entire year. And last year I did a charity event. I ran for 12 hours around the indoor track at the TCC. So I did 86 kilometers, and my fitness age then, when I was 38, I was 32. And then afterwards, because I was not trained well enough to do that 12 hours, it jumped up to like 41 for like 3 months.
Oh,
I couldn't do anything, right? For about 3 weeks, I could barely even walk. So not getting your heart up. And then obviously you burn all those calories, and then you're sitting around, and what do you want to do when you're sitting around? Just want to eat, right?
Yeah.
So lots of pizza.
Bring on the pounds.
Oh yeah. I recently put like 17 pounds on bad weight, because I was supposed to go do MDS, the Legendary. It's a 250-kilometer race through the Sahara Desert.
That's nuts.
Yeah, 6 days over six stages over 7 days. Longest one being 85. So that's why I did the 85 around the track, to prove I could do it. And then, long story short, since signing up, I got diagnosed with ADD, went on medications, then found out that the medications are considered performance enhancing, which I can tell you they're not. So ADHD medications, stimulants. So my resting heart rate's usually like 15 higher than where I should be. And then my working heart rate's like 20 to 25 higher. And for anyone out there that knows anything about, endurance sports, you want a lower heart rate. If your heart rate's pounding when you're at low effort, it's not good for you. So long or the short of it is, couldn't go do that. And then I kind of fell into a bit of I don't want to say depression, but I was pretty down on it. In like 3 weeks, I put like 17 pounds on. So
that's a lot in a short time period, bro.
It's a lot of pizza. I'm not sharing those larges just for me. It's pizza, and on my drive home, there's Arigato sushi on the right hand side of the road. So I'd pull in and wait half an hour and eat. They're like, "Oh, how many chopsticks?" And I was like, "Just one." And they'd look at me because I'm ordering for a family of 4. I can put them back, man. So, but I'm back on track now. I lost all that weight since.
It's interesting that we go through these stages, right? It's like that depression, but it's like, man, today is like the same thing. I hit the wall today, and it's just like you get these little stages where you really gotta pull your head out of your ass, and you gotta look in the mirror. I mean, I had to go to the mirror at my house before I came over here, like an hour before I came over here. Yeah, about an hour. And I said to myself, I was like, "What are you doing? Like, come on, like, get your head in the game. Like, let's go." You got to give yourself that self-talk, because nobody's going to do it for you. And it's like, I'm either going to eat too much. I might go drinking. I don't drink very much. I don't do drugs or any of that other stuff. Like, I just live this thing. And then all of a sudden food becomes my vice too. And it's like, I'm going to go have something to eat. Get your head out of the fridge. Let's go.
Yep.
Okay. Go to the bathroom, look in the mirror, and what are you doing? Let's go. You got to get your shit together.
Yeah, you're your own best friend and your own worst enemy, right? So,
yeah,
especially when it comes to the food. Like, I can't, in my house, I'm not allowed to have Nutella, because I'll just eat the whole thing with a spoon. I'm better now with the peanut butter, but we used to have to put duct tape around the top of it So then it was a reminder to myself as I'm pulling the duct tape off. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to eat this. And I put the duct tape back on, or the wife will have to hide it behind the bowls and stuff because I'll get up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I'm hungry, and just go downstairs and eat a cup of peanut butter. There's like 900 calories. So,
I never thought about that duct tape on the rim. That's a nice special one. I'm gonna have to maybe use that for my little vices. I used to have peanut butter. Can't have it in the house anymore. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's not welcome. Otherwise, I'm just gonna wear it. It's just too easy to eat.
I think it's my favorite food. Like, no lie. Like, peanut butter, I could live off that, man. So yeah. We just have like the little one now, and it's like craft peanut butter, so it's basically icing sugar, but it's smaller now, and it was years of the duct tape are hidden. And then I finally I'm able to, because for me, I'm like black or white. It's like have something or don't. And I didn't have it for so long. So now I just don't have it.
Yeah.
So I
Get it out of the way.
I miss it.
Yeah, me too, man. Maybe we'll get some peanut butter after this.
And that natural shit doesn't cut it. And you grew up on that craft peanut butter and salty and sweet. And, man.
Give me that smooth stuff. Yeah. Big, nice white slice of sourdough toast or something. And it's like, for the really bad nights, you're like, oh, yeah.
You heat it up, and then the peanut butter starts to melt.
Yeah.
I'm glad I ate before this because I'd be hungry.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm like, had a nice little drink before I get here. It was a gallon up with water, and like, let's go.
Yeah. Are you pretty dialed on your nutrition then?
I'm fairly regimented. I like to run like a sort of a weight class for me. I'm not specifically hell bent on like dropping or focusing or really trying to lean out hard right now. I'm just focused on if I can be steady and consistent with a clean diet program, or as clean as I can. I count my calories. I'm probably pretty good to 90% of the time.
I'm about the same.
Yeah, so I got my app, my fitness app. I've got that rolling. I'm tracking how much I'm working out. I'm tracking my burn on my exercises. If I have days where I get a good mountain bike ride in and I get to train in the morning at 4:30 at the gym, it's like, okay, cool. I'll grab a little extra bite that day because I love eating food. It's just good, right?
And you worked for it. Got to refuel your body as well.
Totally. So as long as I'm like keeping my my zone, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
So, but I count calories and I watch the macros. Like, absolutely. I really want to focus on that and keeping that health part of me really good. And I think it's that discipline to keep it consistent. As soon as you get off that path, it's like, it's over, right?
Yeah. Well, there's that expression, how you do anything's how you do everything, right?
Yeah.
So if you can track your calories and you're disciplined with that, then you're most likely going to be more disciplined with your workout plan, with going to work, getting your work done there, and then making sure that you have family time, and everything kind of falls into place after that.
Yeah, it's everything. It's that discipline to have that consistent habit.
Yeah, I track all my stuff too.
Do you?
Every morning I weigh out everything I'm going to eat for the day, because if I come home, so like I have in my truck, I've got homemade popcorn chicken that I made like with crushed cornflakes and stuff.
Ooh, nice.
So that's ready to go, because I know if I get home and I don't have that meal ready, as I'm cooking that next thing, it's like, here's the kid's snack drawer, and there's a Rice Krispie square, and then into the chips, and I'm not really noticing what I'm doing. And I'm sure you could do the same thing. You could sit and eat a whole family bag of chips before you even know it, right?
Oh, in a second.
Yeah.
Give me some salt and vinegars, and we're good to go.
Oh man,
it's like so bad.
Yeah, I'm bad. I'll take ketchup chips and I dip them in like dill pickle dip, and it's
whoa.
Yeah, it's
no.
Yeah, I started doing, I was diamond drilling in Ontario, and I was much younger then, but I was burning so many calories that it didn't matter what I ate, I would lose weight every single day. So I was eating family bags of Skittles. I would stop at 7-Eleven on the way back, and I would get like 6 of their like ready-made cheeseburgers, and then I would get every day a full size of ketchup chips, and I would get like half a liter of like the hell of a dill pickle dip, and I would eat the whole thing, and I would still lose. Every time in a month, I'd lose like 15 pounds because I just couldn't keep it on.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, when we were younger, it was so much easier to drop weight.
Oh man, and yeah, I'm okay with it now. When I'm like dialed, it'll slowly like start to go down. But if I'm not paying attention, it creeps back up way faster than it goes down.
Yeah, man, I agree 100%. I'm like, I went away this weekend bear hunting, right? So it's like, of course, we're out in the mountains and you're driving around and you're doing a little bit of hiking, not a ton of hiking, but you're just looking to find, where they're at. And it's like, oh, I'll just have little snacks. Then I'll have some corn chips, or not corn chips, whatever those little corns are.
Oh,
corn
like
nuts.
Corn nuts. Yeah. Is it a
Right?
corn? Is it a nut?
Yeah. So I'm like eating those things and pop some cashews, and like 2 hours later, the bag is half gone, and I'm like, hey, what's going on with your program here? Like, you got to pay attention to this. But you're just driving around, just snacking, right?
Yeah.
Nonstop. So I came back this weekend, got on the scale yesterday, and I was like, that's not too bad. I'm only up 1 pound, probably because of the salt, right? So I did pretty good.
Yeah.
Continuous snacking was actually a really good deal. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But it's that continuous food that you just keep eating.
I would think though, when you're out bear hunting, are you on foot much though? Or are you tromping through the bush and burning lots of calories? Or
This weekend, no. We had some friends out, younger, newer hunters for, hunting, predators. So it was like, we did a lot of driving and a lot of country. I'm just showing them some really cool places they can go that there's not many people that go. So we covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. And then we did a little bit of hiking, and, they were blessed. Mother Nature decided to give them a couple bears. So they each got a couple bears, and it was like a really good trip. But lots of driving, right?
are you pretty avid hunter then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah. You started that at a young age, or?
Yeah, really, was interested when it was about how we were raised, right? I think we were raised on wild game. Well, I don't think we were raised on wild game. We always had moose, we always had deer, we always had that wild game meat. It was always so good to have.
Do you grow up here in Kamloops then?
Yeah,
Or? Okay.
yeah, born and raised here.
Yeah. How far do you have to go for moose here then?
Man, well, if you're going to go into the crazy place, like we do fly-ins every year. So I don't really hunt a ton around Kamloops anymore. So we just, charter a plane and we get dropped off at some lake in the middle of the mountains with your backpack and some food. And it's like, we'll be back in 10 days to pick you up. And it's like, perfect. If you're late, don't worry, we'll be fine. It's not a bad place to be.
Do you take like half the amount of food and just make sure you have to get something then so you can keep eating?
No, man. You're right. So it's enjoyment out there too, right? Like you're hitched up to a nice wall tent or whatever your setup is. Everybody's a little bit different, but after 20 or 30 years of doing this, we have a pretty dialed program where it's really, really enjoyable.
Yeah. I asked about how far you had to go for moose because where I grew up in Terrace, we'd have moose walk through the front yard.
Right?
So, yeah. Big ones, man. I remember one time, probably 8 years old, and opened the curtains and there's a moose standing right there, but his head's at the top of like the 10-foot window. And I'm like, close the curtain back. Like, please don't come through. I didn't know any different. I was 8 years old. So
Yeah, that's living in the wild there, Terrace, that's like out there. I didn't know that's where you're born and raised. Very cool.
yeah, born and raised. So my dad still lives in my childhood home. And on the front door, there's claw marks from a grizzly bear. Clawed the front door.
Get out.
Yeah, and then it went through the side, and it decided to go through. Or we had this huge gate that was big enough for the truck to go through, and through there, tromped through, tore the garden up, and then I don't even think he had to like swipe at the fence. I think they're just so big. He just kept walking, and then the boards just kind of fell away, and yeah.
When they go somewhere, they're going somewhere. You're not stopping them.
Yeah, behind our house was a huge like kind of nature reserve, and we as kids would have to take, remember those like old like 4-liter ice cream buckets?
Yep.
So we'd have to take those, me and my cousins, and we'd have to go out and pick the blackberries that were out there before the bears came down from the mountains. So we'd go out and pick, like go out there, you can't come back till the pail's full if you go and pick.
Oh,
bears.
yeah. Good
10
music
years
rolling,
old.
looking around, eyes in the back of your head all the time.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere up there. So people around here like, oh, I saw a bear. And I was like, oh, like I've thousands of times seen a bear. Like,
Yeah.
I was scared. I'm like, I mean, if they smell or hear you, like they're gone. Like they have no interest in you. So
They're so much more scared of us. Even when they haven't really seen people, they're still like, when they smell you, it's like, okay, I don't like that. They're out of here for the most part, most of the time.
yeah,
Unless you're in the way of them and their kids or.
yeah. Do you have any scary experiences when you're hunting bears?
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really good ones.
But any times when you're like in a oh shit moment, like this might be the end, or
No, there were some ones that were really close. Like we were hunting grizzly bears one time in a river full of like spawning salmon, and that's where you found the bears. And it was one of those times where it's like, okay, are we really going to do this? So yeah, my buddy had a limited entry draw where you put in the lottery system, and they allow so many bears to get harvested in this specific area. So I said, okay, I'll go with you. Let's go up there and we'll go grizzly bear hunting. We get into this place and it's like, the creek is like as wide as this room here and maybe like twice as wide in some places. before I left, they're like, okay, you know what? Your furthest shot is going to be 50 yards. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, what's the closest? Well, 5 yards. So this is sounding really tight.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of room. And all the bears are here to eat the salmon. So it turned into one of those things where it's like, okay, well, let's give this a try. So I'm on my hands and knees trying to prune the bushes away to get access into this river system. And in front of me, which I couldn't see, but just in front of us, these two male grizzly bears stood up and started to have this big fight. You can hear them slapping each other and screaming. And I looked back at my friend, Bobby. I was quite a bit younger than him. And I said, are we really going to do this? Like, you really want to go in here and like, we're going to roll the dice on this? And he's like, well, if you are, I can't go in there alone. And I'm like, okay. So I keep on my hands and knees pruning, and I look back, and I got a shotgun, a 12-gauge shotgun, and he had a rifle. So I give him my shotgun, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to prune the rest of these bushes, but you got to stay ready. Like, you got to be ready. So I'm on my hands and knees pruning these willows and these things to make us a path that we can get into this creek. We get in there, and I look back, and I'm like, he's got the gun over his shoulder. I'm like, no. We need that thing pointed forward. Like, well, if a bear's going to come through these bushes, it's going to come through the bushes, and we're not even going to know.
Like that.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's just over. So, we hunted in this place for 4 or 5 days, and we've seen a lot of grizzly bears. We got chased by sows and cubs. They were teaching their kids how to fish. It was something special to see. Like, I mean, the place was, National Geographic on steroids. I wish I was really filming back then, because there would have been some really cool footage of some fun things. But we got chased around there a couple of times, and you can't really run too well when you're around those creekways and river systems here. You're kind of like, when you're there, and you don't want to mess up. So we kept walking up and down this, river system, and we finally got into a place where there's a really big bear. And I mean, he was a really big bear. And we saw him that one day, the second to last day. Maybe that was the last day. We come around the corner, and probably at 30 yards, there's this big grizzly bear that was just like the biggest grizzly bear I've seen still today. He was broadside, and he was just standing there eating a salmon. And you could see he had a sway back, like one of those old horses you'd see from pack outfitters. So this bear had this big sway back, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, that's Papa Louie. That's Big Daddy. That's whatever you want to call him. I mean, this is the king of the forest right here. So I get the bob. I'm like, there he is. Like, let's shoot him, and let's harvest this thing. And I was really excited because we can get the hell out of here. Like, let's fucking go, because I've had enough of this place. Like, it's just sleepless, right? You're there with the grizzlies. So he shoots and misses this thing at 30 yards. I'm like, okay, well, that's no fun. So I'm like, okay, let's go back to the camper, and we're going to have a little bowl of soup and try to warm up here because it's raining and crappy weather. We go back in there that night, and we hike back in, and we didn't see any bears that night, but we're going to stand right where, Big Daddy was. We figures he's going to come out that night. I'm like, okay, well, we're just going to hang out here. I said, but we got to get some rules in place here. You're going to face the river, and I'm going to face the bush, and we're going to put our backs to each other. And we're going to listen, and we're going to see. So what happens? Well, the wind lights up, and it starts to rain, so we can't hear shit. So I'm like, this might not be the greatest plan for tonight. So, but we're going to stay here, and we're just going to see if we can get this done. So we're hanging out there, and an hour goes by, and I'm like, okay, we got to stretch. I got to walk around a little bit here. I've got to change it up. Back to back again for another hour, and we just stand there and wait in the rain, and it's just blowing and shitty weather, and we're getting cold by this point in time. And I look at Bob, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? We're going to give this a little bit more time. We probably got, 2 hours before dark. So let's go for another round. We'll just see if we can last. So back to back, we're standing there, and all of a sudden we hear these big splashes in the rivers. And it's not a salmon, because this sounds like footprints or something coming. Well, it kept coming closer and closer. And we're hoping it was going to come closer because we can't see, right? So the little bit of bushes, and in front of us, probably 3.5 yards is the river. And we hear this splash, 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 and then dead quiet. We're like, okay, he's coming, or he's getting closer. And we just wait. Splash, 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 a little bit closer. I'm like, okay, he's coming. Like, here he comes. You better you better be ready.
Don't miss.
Like, you're loaded. Like, you just want to check everything again, make sure we're set up. Like, you're set up. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, well, this bear walks out 5 yards right in front of us, broadside, and doesn't know we were there yet. And I leaned over at Bob and I kind of whispered out of the side of my cheeks. I'm like, "Oh, there you go. Like, it doesn't get any closer. It doesn't get any more real than this. Like, there you go." He leans over to me. He says, "I don't think it's a big one." I'm like, "It's too fucking close. You're gonna shoot this bear because we're leaving." So he shoots the bear, and then the bear stands up on his back legs and gives us a big scream. And I shoot the bear, and he dies right there. I had to run out into the river and grab his leg because the river was kind of roaring a little bit, and there's a big log jam down there. So we shoot this bear, and I run out there and grab this leg, and I'm like hauling it back in. I'm like, "Dude, you better make sure this thing is like completely
Dead?
out. Like, what are you doing?" But I was so excited to leave. So, yeah, we got lucky. We've had some pretty crazy. We've had some different bear stories. I mean, you're in the bush all the time in those fly-in hunts. You're always seeing different things and different animals.
I guess you were pretty thankful he missed on the 30 yards and not on the 5-yard shot.
Yeah, you got her. You got her. Yeah.
Yeah. You just clip them and you make them angry instead, right? So,
Oof, man. You know what? It's like they're coming. You know, like there's no room for error.
So
because they just at 5 yards, it's just one step.
yeah. And he'll cover that distance in a hurry.
Yeah. Like 1 second. Well, you grew up around bears and terrace. You didn't go hunting at all up there?
No, my dad wasn't a hunter. My uncle, also my neighbor, him and my cousins, they're big hunters, and they still hunt a ton. Mm-hmm. So I get some game meat now and then, and love it when they come down and bring me some moose jerky or some roast and stuff.
Wild game's so good, eh?
Well, it's just full of nutrients, right? Like they're just eating off the land, and it's lean, and they haven't been fattened up at the end of like a cow at the end of its life cycles to get that marbling. It's just good for you.
Yeah. It's been, what has it been? Probably 27 or 30 years we haven't bought meat from a grocery store. So it's been like, you'll go get some pork chops or you'll get bacon or something like that. Like you'll go get some of those things that you want, but your staples, like, man, it's so good when you just eat wild game. I love it. Elk steaks, moose. It's so good.
Way better for you too. There's no hormones in there. Like you know what they're eating.
Yeah. They've lived a free life. They're not penned up. They're not led down the chute. And, it's like, it's a way better thing. You're really responsible for your food.
You must get a couple animals a year then to be able to have it year round for that long.
Well, you get a moose. Like, I mean, we fly in and there's 4 of us that fly in, and if we shoot 2 moose, then that's all we need, but that's all we take, right? Because 2 guys split a moose. Well, that's a lot of meat for a year.
Yeah.
For me. So it's like, it works out pretty good. So if you get a deer and a moose and you're feeding your family, and, maybe you get another one depending on how many people you got to feed or what you're really trying to do. It's like, as long as the freezer is half, 3/4 full, I'm okay. We don't need to go crazy.
Yeah. Because I mean, what's a moose get up to? Like 800 pounds?
Yeah, we flew out the last one, and I think it was 600 pounds boneless meat. So it was 600 pounds of meat.
Wow.
So you're on those, like, we're up there by the Alaska-Yukon border. We're on those fly-in hunts in those lakes in the middle of nowhere.
Beautiful up there.
Oh my goodness, man! I can't wait to go back. Set me up. I'm in.
I worked up in the Yukon kind of area before.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, when I was diamond drilling, and we would fly in for night shift right before the sun went down. So up there, and this is like you said, you wish you were filming back then. I wish I was filming back then, or like had a drone or something. So I'm somewhere top of a mountain where besides the guys that are drilling, no one's probably ever been there because it's not accessible. And sun goes down, and then go through our shift, and every morning, right when our shift ended, I'd be out there with a cup of coffee and a cigarette when I still smoked, and feet up, like worked a hard shift, watching the sun come up. Like no one's ever seen this view before. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's just so awesome. There's sunrise, sunset, best part of the day. Oh my goodness. It's so beautiful up there.
Have you done any other hunting like outside of BC or?
Yeah, I've hunted the Yukon. I've hunted NWT, hunted Alberta. This winter, I hunted Argentina.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it was like really fantastic place to go.
What do you hunt? Is it antelope or like what do you hunt over there? Is there deer over there?
Yeah, they got an axis deer.
Okay, yeah.
And then they got another deer called black buck. And then we hunted water buffalo. They have there's a couple herds of wild water buffalo there.
Wicked.
So we hunted those things. That was nuts. And then we hunted wild boar. So they said, well, you can go shoot a pig or shoot some pigs. And I'm like, just shoot some pigs. And they're like, yeah, man, they're like a pest down here. They're like, they eat the farmers' corn and all this stuff. So just, you're welcome to go shoot a pig. So we go out hunting pigs. And I go, there's a really big one. And I'm like, no, I just want one that I can eat. I don't want to shoot it just to shoot it. I want to shoot something that I'm going to eat because my goal down there was to go hunting down there, experience that, what it's all about, and then also learn how to cook because they have like amazing barbecue and they cook food so good in Argentina. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go hunting, and then whatever we shoot, we're cooking. And that was my program for a week.
Good.
Yeah,
So
good.
The boar have some pretty gnarly tusks on him. Could he gore you?
No, he was. I shot a little one, like it was 60-pounder.
Okay.
Like nothing really big. So it wasn't fully grown or mature. It was like, I looked at it and I'm like, that's tender victuals to me. Like, okay, we're going to get one of those right there. That's perfect.
What do they do after they spit roast it, or they do like dig a pit?
No, it was really, they had so many ways they cook and do barbecue down there. So that night we had what's called disco. Have you ever heard of that?
No, what's that?
Okay, so the farm tractors, and when they go out there and they disc the fields,
Okay. Yeah.
and you know how those round discs are in the back of the tractor. Well, these ones are used, and they don't need them anymore. Or if they went and got new discs or whatever there is, the program is, and they use that round thing and they weld a rim on it, and that's their pot for over the fire, and it's called disco.
Okay.
I was like, no shit. I mean, who would have thought? It's such a simple name. So we had disco. So you cut up all this meat, and then you get onions and some potatoes and all that good stuff. And these guys like to cook their pork because it's sweet. They cook it with black beer. So we had 6 of those tall cans of black beer in with the meat, and it was just boiling over the open fire. And they rendered the black beer down so there was no more black beer. And this meat was unbelievable.
Right, so fucking tender, hey?
Oh, fuck. I was just like, oh, my goodness, we're doing this every night.
Pulled pork will never be the same again after that.
No. So I'm full into like Argentina barbecue here and disco for sure.
Did you make your own disco setup back here in Kamloops then?
No, but I'm figuring out how I could do that here, right? So we just went this spring and just did that. And I'm like, okay, I got that to do. Then I've got to do like lamb and cooked lamb on the open fire like they did. Like the meat was so good down there. Like a nice ribeye steak that was probably 3/4 of an inch thick, 10 ounces, let's say, 10 ounces. How much is that here in Canada?
What is it, like $35 a kilogram or something?
I don't know, but I haven't. When I was down there, that was $2,
Jeez.
right? $2. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing down here. If you like eating meat, this is a good place to go.
Yeah, go carnivore down there for sure.
Totally. A bottle of red wine that's $30 here, $40 here is $4 down there.
Because it'll be, for us, it's an import. For them, it's a domestic, right? So,
Yeah.
And they have really good wine, I've heard.
Yeah, they got great mailbacks.
Yeah. I've never had any. I don't drink anymore, so, but I've heard good things about Argentinian wine, so.
It's a great country, an amazing place to go see. Very similar to Canada.
Really? How so?
Terrain,
Okay.
like the mountains, what you see for like sagebrushy, open like hillsides and kind of country. It's got a little bit of everything down there. Like it's really, really similar to here. So it was really interesting.
Is tourism pretty big for them then? Where everyone's pretty welcoming? Or
I think it's pretty huge for them. But there's a lot of people, like Buenos Aires has a lot of people. And those people all go to like the resort towns or the little places like we were going. So we went way down south to go check it out. And we wanted to tour this road system called Ruta 40. And it's a lake chains, and you get on this highway and you just drive around and eat in these little towns and hang out, have fun. We went and checked out ski hills because we like skiing. So, and we really like Argentina. So I'm like, let's go check out a couple ski hills. So we hiked up some ski hills, and just like there's all kinds of cool shit to do down there. It's amazing. It's like really, really fun country.
sounds like I need to add it to my list of travels to go to. So
you'd enjoy it if you like that kind of thing. If you like that sunrise, they got. We didn't have clouds in the sky one night.
Really, so it was just stars the whole way across. Then
2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, no clouds.
Yeah, and if you're touring all through the smaller towns, you wouldn't have any light pollution. Then I would assume.
No. Yeah, it was amazing, phenomenal place.
Yeah. Do you have
Buenos Aires was beautiful too.
It's the capital, right?
Yeah, capital city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have camera equipment down there that time, or
No.
no?
No, but we did some cell phone stuff. So we've been working with Adrian to put some videos together. So we recorded it. We put some, put our pictures. We did some filming of Costa Rica and Argentina. And then we're going to produce a video this year. So
Good.
Adrian's working on that with us. He's like super fun to have us in and kind of go at that. So we'll see how that turns out.
You got to take him on your next trip. That's him and I went to Bali, and he's he cracks the whip and makes sure that you make the most of every single moment of the day for your filming. So he's pretty talented.
Very cool. He said he was doing that with you.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It's never been before, and so that's what we did instead of, because he was going to come over to MDS at the end of it, and then we were going to go out in the desert. And we were going to film, and then we were going to do like dune buggies and stuff. And then I already had my plane ticket booked, and I was like, pretty down, and I was like, we should go to Bali. And he's like, why Bali? And I was like, I don't know. So
just because
I've seen a picture of it. I had some friends there. Friends get married there, I don't know, like 2 years ago, and it looked pretty cool. And I was like, let's go to Bali. We didn't do any research or anything. And it's like 3 days before. He's like, we should figure out where we're staying.
It sounds like guys planning a trip.
Oh man, I will plan it better for another trip, and but it was a learning experience especially with doing more on the filming side. 'Cause I've done lots of travel and like the vacation, and what I hate doing when I'm traveling or like vacationing is I don't like to waste anything. I'm not the type of person to go to a resort and like just sit on the beach. I want to be out in the jungle, or I want to go hit that waterfall, or get a Jeep on a back road and actually do stuff. So that was awesome because we were sun up to sundown. It was jam packed every day.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
There's so much to see when you're up in the morning and you use the whole day.
Mm-hmm. I think there was one day that we weren't up for sunrise, and that's because it was like the middle of the trip and we were just exhausted from doing like 15-hour days every single day.
Man, the content you get from that, eh?
We were on this one beach, and it's called Sunset Beach for a reason.
Yeah.
And the tide's going out as the sun's going down, and it's one of those ones where the water comes up and then the reflection comes on. It looks like the sky right on the beach, and running shots on there. And then right when the sun was really going down, and then like silhouetted against it. It's actually my profile picture right now on I think on Instagram. Yeah, just beautiful. I live for the sunrise and the sunset. I would, if I could see it every day. It's a little harder now with as Kamloops days get earlier and longer. So I'm usually in bed before the sun goes down. So, and I am up before the sun up most days though.
Yeah, it's nice being up before the sun's up.
Yeah, I actually really like it in the winter time when it rises a little later, because I'll get up. It's like 4:30. Get up, go to the gym, come back. It's still dark. Everyone's still sleeping, and you've already probably done the most important part of your day, and you're starting it off with a bang.
Isn't there something with that when I miss that darkness as well too, because it's like, okay, nobody's up yet. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like if it's still dark, it seems like everybody's still asleep. So you come back and you've done that. You're reading your book. You've done a couple of things for yourself. You've really worked on you. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to give the rest of the day to everybody else, but you really worked on you before it's like anybody's up. Early bird gets the worm. It's so addictive.
Yeah, and especially in the winter when you get up and the rare times we have snow, but it's like quieted. It's like it's been deadened, and then you're driving and you can't even hear your tires on the road because of a bit of a snow. And I couldn't agree more about working on yourself with that you time, because as soon as I get to work at like 7:30 to like 5, it's no time for myself. And then after, it's either like a run or we're doing some filming, and then I'm home at like 7:30, 8. Bit of time with the kids, a meal, hang out with fiance, and then it's to bed. So getting up 2 hours earlier, it just stretches the day out and gives you that time. Because if I got up at 6:30 and then went to work at 7:30, by the end of the day I get home, kids and family and dog, etc., I'm not going to have any time to actually work on myself. So by getting up earlier, you're just it's like a cheat code.
Absolutely. Cheat code is a really good word for it. It's like, that's that 5 a.m. crew. I mean, I know when I'm posting and everybody's like, oh, you're the 5 a.m. club. And I'm like, yeah, we're at the gym at 4:30, and it's like, or 4:45. And it's like, you have your crew there in the morning. You don't really train with anybody, but there's the steady eddies that are there. Mm-hmm. They're like, if you don't show up, they're going to call you out on your shit. And it's like, you didn't show up. Well, yeah, no, there's no I don't know. Like, WTF? Like, you're supposed to be here. You committed to give it to yourself. And when you miss those mornings, you don't feel the same as the mornings you do when you worked out.
Oh, for sure. I can remember showing up at like 5:30, 5:45, and you were just finishing, and I was like, "Fuck, that guy's here early," because you had a good sweat on. I know you weren't just in there for 15 minutes and leaving. You were getting your workout in. So
yeah, it's a good time. Are you still going there?
no, I switched to Cold Iron. It's on in Valley View behind the Shoppers Drug Mart there.
Okay.
So they were like a private gym for a long time, and then she kind of just opened the doors up for like semi-private. So like a fob and you scan in, but heavy metal is like 25 minutes from my house, where this one's 7 minutes from my front door. So, I mean,
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it was too much to drive there. And then I had the shower there because I had no time to drive home before going to work. So I like to shower at home if I can. So
100%. But you know that I look at that and it's like, my life has become so simple because I live so close to everything. So it's fundamentally smooth. And it's like, I looked at this and I'm like, man, I wouldn't live out of town again unless I had a really good personal gym at home. But I go to the gym in the morning and it's 3 minutes from my house.
Okay, yeah.
I get home. I have everything. I'm blessed. I live on the river, so like if it's good, I can go for a plunge in the river. And it's like the gym is right there. Groceries are right there. Everything is like right there. My office is like 8 minutes, 10 minutes away. So it's like everything is so convenient. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what I would do if it was like the alternate. It's like, 'cause this is really addictive, having everything, because you can jam pack so much more stuff into your day.
Yeah, if you're not spending 2 hours traveling just to go to the gym and the groceries and work, et cetera.
Yeah, when you add up that time, it's a lot of time.
Yeah. Couldn't imagine living in like Burnaby and you have to drive to Vancouver every day for work.
No,
and 4 hours of travel every day.
You got to be psycho.
Oh, man.
It's amazing what we let ourselves get used to, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just debilitating when you actually sit back and measure the time you've put into this, put into driving your vehicle. You spend more time in your car than you do socializing with your family sometimes if you live down there.
Yeah, I have a tracking software in my truck and personal and business stuff, and I actually just did my reports today, and I was looking and I was like, holy fuck, did I drive a lot last month? It was like 3,000 kilometers, and I didn't leave town. Like,
Woof.
So, and a lot of that's during work hours. I had to bomb around to do stuff for work, and I was like trying to do the math, and I was like, how much time did I spend sitting in my vehicle? And I was like, I do get through a lot of books and podcasts, so I am making use of the time, but I know that like my lower back and like my knees take a toll from sitting so much.
I feel that too.
Yeah.
That's the over 50 feel.
Well, I'm not 40 yet, so I think I'm feeling a little early. Yeah.
Dude, but you're physically active, which is like the best thing. But it's like that driving and too much sitting in the vehicle is like not a great thing for our bodies.
No, I often drive with the heated seats on in the summer because it's nice on the lower back.
Hot, cold,
Yeah.
hot, cold. It's like therapy. You might as well give it to yourself. That's what they put the buttons there for, is to use it.
Yeah, actually, I don't like this. I don't like the AC one so much because I can hear the fan, and I hate the sound of fans. It like just drives me nuts. So like, I'll put it on. It's like, what's that sound? I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, it's the fan. I go back to the heat. So
Turn the podcast up.
yeah, I guess so. Doing a little louder. I listen to them, I think, a little too fast though now.
Yeah.
I think I'm at like 1.5 times speed now listening to them. So if I had them too loud, I don't know, it rattles my brain a little bit.
Man, that's such a good tip right there. I gotta remember that. Because I'm listening to them at normal speed, and I'm like, I need to get through more content.
Mm-hmm.
I got so much more to learn.
I wouldn't suggest jumping right to 1.5. So guy in town, who's my first guest, actually, Kevin Wood, he's on 1.75 times speed. And
Woody's on 1.7?
Okay, you know Kevin? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's on 1.75. And I was like, man, I'm on 1.2. I got to step it up. So I started at 1.1, and then I went to 1.2. But the reason I started, though, was, you ever listen to Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett?
Okay, I've heard it.
English guy?
I've heard that name.
So Stephen talks quite slow, and there's quite a bit of gaps between. And there was so many pauses that I thought my Spotify had frozen. So that's why I started listening it to 1.1 and then 1.2. And I found that 1.2 with him felt like more of a normal kind of cadence for speech.
Yeah.
But then I have it set to that. So when I went to other podcasts, it was already on that. And then as your brain starts to develop the skill to listen to it 1.2, and then you go to 1.3, and it's a little difficult, and then you just sort of keep on going. And then eventually, I mean, I don't know if I'll get to what Kevin's at 1.75, but at 1.5, you can do an hour and a half podcast in an hour now. And now you do that, 5 times a week, and you're listening to an extra 5 hours of podcast, or that's another book. That's like probably an extra like 15 audiobooks you finish in a year.
Yeah. It's amazing when you actually do the math. Remove emotion and think you're doing good and just do the math. Sit down and do the math. How do I get more in? What do I got to do?
Yeah.
If it takes 100 to do this, then how do I remove like 5 steps? How can I speed that up? How can I wrap that in? How can I get that done?
Yeah, there's only so many hours in the day that you're awake, and you got to make advantage of them. So I used to read way more than I do now. And then I switched to audiobooks just because there was books I wanted to read, and I would buy them on my Kindle, or I'd buy the physical copy and I'd start, and I just wouldn't have enough time in the day to get through them fast enough because I'm interested by them. So then I got the audiobooks, and I've been hooked on them. So
how's your attention? Your retention? Like that, and this is a big thing for people. And I've had this conversation with a few people. I had audiobooks, and I love audiobooks, but I don't retain it as much because my mind is like, it would just shiny objects, right? Like I fuck myself up because I think about this, and then I think about that, or I'll be driving down the road and I'll all of a sudden stare off in La La Land, and I'll be on to another thing while it's going, and I'm like, you got to rewind that, you dummy. You just missed the point of like the whole thing.
Yeah, what I'll do is if a certain talking point comes up, and I'm like, oh, like I need to know that, I'll make a mental note. I'm like, okay, that was chapter 4, and we're like 10 minutes in. And then when I'm not driving, then I'll go back and listen to that part again and maybe take some notes. But I run a lot, so I'll listen to podcasts when I'm doing that. And I'm out in the trails or I'm on the road, and I'm already kind of zoned out. So I know what's going on, but I got the headphones on, and I'm focused more on this and not so much the running. So I don't even kind of know the direction I'm going in. And I definitely retain better when I'm running, and I don't have to worry about that asshole, slamming the brakes on in front of me, or someone cutting me off in traffic.
It's interesting when you actually really start to measure your results, or what your intake is or what it isn't. It's like I just love the study of ourselves, like just measuring like what you're actually taking in, what you're producing, what you're doing, how much you can learn and how much you can retain.
Yeah, inputs and outputs.
Oh man, it's like I feel lazy when you look at some people like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, or some of these different people that are out there, and it's like, man, I can do so much more. Like, come on, how come I'm not?
It's motivating though when you see what other people can accomplish, and then you look at what your constraints are, and you're like, maybe that isn't such a problem. Maybe I can push myself harder here, or maybe I can retain more, like pay more attention when I'm listening instead of like, oh shit, what did they say? And you got to rewind it, right? Yeah,
totally. It's helped me now. Now I know that we've got our subliminal thought, and then we got our forward-facing thought where we're communicating. And you can talk to somebody, but you can think about something at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it totally makes me practice now that I've done this. My communication with people has really become better because my full focus is on you. But it took me a lot to learn to really grab that backwards thought, the behind-the-scene thought, and pull it forward so that both of my attentions are focusing on you and what we're talking about. And it was like a real practice because when I was driving around with Audible books, my head, I would just wander. Like it was just like I couldn't get it together. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? I got to pull that guy in here. We got to get both of you sitting down at the table, focusing on what you're focusing on.
That's wild that you bring that up, because as we're having a conversation, I'm like, I can hear you, but I'm also looking at you, and I've got part of my brain listening, and then the other part of my brain is thinking about what you're saying and what would be like, what am I wondering about? So if I'm wondering about something, the listeners are probably wondering about it. So I'm like, you'll say a point, and then I'll log that. And then you keep going, and I'm like, okay, how do we loop back to that? Because I really want to know more about, when the bear was 3 yards in front of you, or I want to know more about, how you're making the best use of your time. So I've got almost like two kind of trains of thought going on at the same time. So for me, I don't want them together in this moment, but I 100% agree about, I'll be listening to a podcast, and then it's 15 minutes later, and especially when I'm driving sometimes, I was like, I don't know what they said. It's gone. I got to rewind that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like it's like recognizing it early enough. You know, it used to take me like 20 minutes to recognize it before. Then I was down to like 15 or 12 minutes. Then I was down to 7 or 8 minutes. Now I've just focused on this so hard that I'm down to like, it's in 30 seconds or 20 seconds. I'm like, oh, you're doing it again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. You know what? Stop that. Thank you.
Your brain's just like any other muscle, right? The more you activate it and the more you train it to notice what's going on, the quicker you're going to be able to recognize that and then kind of flip back to where you need to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you imagine if more people did that? It's like, holy cow, because I just want to be present. Mm-hmm. We're having a conversation. If I'm with my team, one of my companies, partners, whatever, I really just want to be present. And sometimes I've caught myself and I'm like, that's kind of you're being a dick right now. You're not like fully there. Like I
think presence is few and far between, especially with the younger generation these years. Phones and TikTok and everything, and it's just stimulation all the time. And like even my kids, they're 10 and 12, and my oldest just got a cell phone a couple months ago, and I'll be looking for him, and he's on the couch, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy," and he's like, "Yep, you got to put that down." He's like, "Okay," and I was like, "No, like we need to speak right now. Turn it off, put it aside." He's like, "Okay," and then I get his attention, but I know he kind of wants to get pulled back to that.
Yeah, oof, it's so dangerous, eh? Mm-hmm. It's so dangerous, that cell phone, that handheld information thing that our brain just wants more and more and more and more and more. I want to see more. I want to do more. And we don't even communicate. It's crazy.
Yeah, face-to-face communication is it's like non-existent now. I remember I was 16 or 17, and I got my first cell phone, and all my buddies were like, "Yeah, you can text." And I said, why would I want to text someone when I can make a phone call and actually make a connection with them? And, no, we got to text. And now no one makes phone calls. Business deals are done. Not even over emails. It's all just text back and forth.
Yeah. It's so crazy how quickly stuff moves, how quickly information flows, how quickly we want information.
Want it now.
Yeah. Our patience level just turns to zero just because it's like we could so quickly with just pushing a button and getting that piece of information you want. Now with AI here, like this is going to be another dramatic change for us. Because it's like if you didn't know something before, within 1 second, you're now knowledgeable in that thing if AI is giving you the accurate information or you're asking it the right question. Because you can have anything at your fingertips right now. So it's like, okay, what's our next attention span going to be with each other? And what's that like? And if you're not getting what you want right away, are we going to be like totally disconnected?
Did you see Google's recent presentation on their new AI model for making like images and movies and stuff?
No, which one was that?
Is it the VO3? It's 3 letters, and I believe it's the 3rd version. And they had they gave it a bunch of prompts, and it's so lifelike, and the speech is all lined up that if you didn't know it was an AI presentation, you might not know that those weren't actual humans. There's a comedian telling a joke. There's an old sailor saying kind of like a limerick, and he's got the piping in, the big beard. And what you could tell though on some of them was where the AI kind of goes a little wonky. Their eyes kind of look all fucked up, like at the end of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like, that was the same sound to kill your brother. He's like melting. That's what some of the eyes look like. I'm sure a lot of people out there listening have never seen Roger Rabbit.
Well, the older we are, I'm sure we've all seen it.
Yeah, older audience.
Totally. Yeah, AI crazy, eh?
Well, I would hope with AI, there's, internet was this huge, passing of knowledge on. It's before everything, there's gatekeepers, right? If you wanted to learn things, you had to go to university and stuff. Now you can learn more on the internet faster than you could going to university. So hopefully with AI, if you're asking it the right questions, you could get that knowledge faster, and then you should be able to hopefully, advance the human race because we're able to learn at a faster rate.
Absolutely. I mean, you got 2 ways to go with this. This is going to be not good, or this is going to be great. And you might as well get in front of it and make it great. Because the alternative is like sitting there and wallowing and go, oh my gosh, this is just going to take over. Well, it's here now. It's not going away. So you just got to get in and grab it and just go for it.
Yeah. I use it every day for emails.
Yeah.
I'll have an email and I'll write it, and then I just throw it to ChatGPT, make this flow better, and make sure that A, B, and C happen. And then it comes out, and I was like, all right, I could have wrote that. Copy paste over, maybe make a few changes because it uses a word that I wouldn't use, and I've had it before. It comes out, and I type back to it as a prompt. I'm like, I can't write this well. Could you dumb this down a little bit? It's like, for sure. Don't worry about that.
Exactly. It's like fun when you start to play with it. And you really get to figure out some different questions you can ask it to really pull some different information out of it. And when I first started this, it's like nobody on my teams was using it. And then I kind of crept it into that HR, and then HR started using it, and now managers and some leaders are starting to use it. And now we just had a leadership meeting the other day, and it's like, listen, everybody's got to be on this right now because you don't want to get left behind. And so we really started focusing on it. But it's like really fun when you actually lead questions. So I was putting some ads together, some ad copy the other day, and I thought, well, I'm just going to ask ChatGPT. I've always been a fan of Morgan Freeman. So I said, can you write this? And I gave it a bunch of information. And I said, make me sound like Morgan Freeman. Absolutely. We can do that for you. It spits out all this thing. And I'm like, holy shit, this is it. And then I ask it, did you forget anything? Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I forgot to put this in there too. And I'm like, how come I didn't think to ask that question all the time?
It's all about the prompts, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let your mind go, and you're going to have a great time with this.
I was using it one time to cheat at Wordle.
Yeah.
Tell me the words. Don't use these letters. Then it pops a bunch out. And I was like, no, you can't use these letters. It's, oh, I'm so sorry. I remember that you said don't use these letters. And then it pops out. I stopped playing Wordle, though. I didn't taking up too much time on ChatGPT trying to find the hard answers.
Dude, you get trapped, eh?
Yeah. I've gone down rabbit holes before. Recently, I asked it, if I was a carrot and then I ate another carrot, would I be a carnivore carrot? And then it was arguing with me. It's like, carrots don't have sentient life. And I'm like, no, I am a carrot. Like, it's like, that's good to be make-believe. And I tried for 20 minutes to convince it that carrots could be sentient life. I'm like, what if there was somewhere in the Amazon where no one had ever been and there was an evolved species of carrots and they were the alpha? And he's like, this is great make-believe. And I couldn't convince it that carrots could be higher life forms.
Okay, I haven't tried to do anything like that yet. That's cool.
It was an exercise in futility. Did not work. So,
you know what? It'd be a good laugh though. Trying to get it to do something it doesn't want to do.
I was getting a little frustrated as it was outsmarting me.
Damn, eh?
Yeah. So, but yeah, you said you had like a leadership meeting. Do you manage a big team or?
Yeah. So with each, with my main company, Lyons Landscaping, and we have leadership meetings, and I don't attend them all, but I attend them once in a while. And in those meetings, we talk about all that thing to get the leadership on the same page. What are our new goals, setting targets? How's everybody doing on their rocks? It's a real catch up for the team to get together. And if you're having challenges, then you can have some time at the end of the meeting for people to work on each other's challenges so that you can help each other crush each other's roadblocks, whatever we're having with the company. But it's a really good time to pull people together and really, have a schedule, a set questions, set answers, or time for answers, and a real program to follow, right? So it's really beneficial for everybody with that. But those leadership meetings are really fundamental in us.
With you being, Lyons, your last name, and Lyons, the company, have you done anything major to be a better leader yourself, to trickle down?
Yeah. I hired a coach he was a good friend before that. I went to him in a seminar. And he came up. We hired him to come and help, turn my company around. We're having a really tough time at this point in time. 2018, I had a cardiac arrest. So after that, I turned into real hardcore health, fitness, get it on. And then I hit that human beast in life that said, you know what, you're just going to let go of that little habit. You're going to let go of that little habit. So I kind of fell back into some old routine stuff that wasn't great. And that related into some corporate stuff. And then it was like, okay, you know what? I need some outside help here. So a different lens, different set of eyes. Hired this coach, Colin Lyons. He's a good friend. He's a beauty. And he's really good with people and helping hold you accountable and really helping you transform into the next, better version of you. So this really was beneficial. So we had Colin and for a couple of years, and it really helped me turn the point of to become a better leader. And, for the companies to go to the next level, I really had to go to the next level before the company. Otherwise, we were never going to get there.
Well, it's totally a trickle-down effect, right? If they see that you're holding yourself accountable for whatever roles and responsibilities you need to do, they will then, in turn, do it for themselves. But if they see you dragging ass and slacking off, then might not have the same vigor to try and put their best foot forward.
Yeah, and it's like if what you want to receive is what you should be shipping out. So if you send out negativity all the time, you're going to get that coming back in your life. And Colin's Break really was a really founding, visionary who really taught me that we're shipper receivers. What you're shipping out is what you're receiving. So if you want your team to receive good things, then you better be shipping out good things. And if you're not doing that full time or in that right mindset, then you need to get some help in order for you to do that. But they also get the benefit of that going through that with you. You just have to be strong enough to let the course of action happen. And it's going to be embarrassing. You're going to get hurt a little bit. You're going to get beat up, because you got to own your shit in front of the team. Mm-hmm. And there's no guff. It's like Jocko Willink, Extreme Ownership. I don't know if you've read that book.
I have read it, yeah.
It's not a beauty. So it's about owning every single thing and making no excuse for nobody or nothing, except you are the one that makes the decision. And you went left or right and you made that choice and you have to live by it. So now when you take that with the coaching and you put that into play with your team really sees the difference that you're really trying to make. So it's like the triple, quadruple effect of training because they're around there seeing that happen. So they're self-assessing themselves as well too. So while I'm becoming a better leader, they were taking involved in the coaching and they were becoming better leaders as well. So it was a real byproduct of me going through my shitstorm in front of everybody that they all became like, oh my goodness, if he can do it, I can do it. And then there's better for everybody. So it was a really beneficial time for us. It was a really good 2 years.
Wow. I have to ask, are you writing a book or anything? I feel like you have enough experiences with all this to help other people outside of just, coming and speaking on a podcast or putting content out.
I was actually chatting with Adrian. There's a few people that are in my world that are really pushing me to do this. So I've identified what I'm going to call it, right? I'm taking the steps to it's just being brave enough to lay it down, right? And it's like, I'm at that stage now where I'm like, okay, I have some critical decisions to make that are partly blocking my path. And I'm going to write a book for sure. Like there's no guff. I've got to do it. And I think there's a lot that I can hopefully help other people from missing some of the mistakes that I made. And
I think you could for sure.
One or two people get that, and it's like, okay, I've done really well. I've helped this place be a better place, and you can move on, right? And it was like really cool because do you know Anna Harrison?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, she's another beauty. So we pulled her on, and she's been a really close personal friend out of this. But she coaches my team weekly, and she's in there with me, and she's our sounding board, right? So she's part of our daily or weekly, if you will. And it's like this additional coach. So we have a superpower team of like superheroes that help my team when either I'm not there, because I don't know it all. Mm-hmm. And I definitely don't profess to, but we have that superpower. So she's like the same thing. Like, you need to get after this. You got to write a book. And I've had a few people tell this. My partner at Lux Lou, Michael, he's like, bro, you need to write all this down. You got to get doing this. Like, what are you doing? Like, you got some funny stuff. So I'm not saying that I got lots of good stuff, but there's some things in here that I could really help people with, especially going through a cardiac arrest and how to recover from that, and then how to make the turn in life to make life a lot better for you and to turn such a negative thing into like a really positive thing for you that you can really give back, right?
Well, I mean, outside of the gym saying like, fuck yeah, like lift hard. I've been talking to you for a little over an hour and I picked up on them that I think you should do a book. I think you should listen. I mean, you already are to the people that are closer to you in your life. I think they're putting you forward with that. And then obviously I would presume that there'd be a big section in your book about having a cardiac arrest at such a young age.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We all need a wake-up call, right? We all get a wake-up call in some form or another. It's just how we use it. And some of our wake-up calls are more extreme than the other. And I think the more of us that actually share what happens to us is like the more important thing in life that you made it through that. And you made it through that for a specific reason. And the reason is a higher power. And that you need to use for good. And you need to share with other people what you did or what you didn't do so that other people can maybe learn to miss that.
Yeah. Can I ask how old you were when you had your cardiac arrest?
I was 46.
That's young.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Was there any contributing factors leading up to that, or?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's if you take all these things that happen in our lives and you're really in tune with yourself and what you're doing. So you're going to look at all the things that you do in a day, and they're like all these little building blocks, right? And if I take a bunch of building blocks and put them together, hinting at what the name of the book could be, right? I think I'm going to call it Unblocked. But it's like, so you take this building block and it's like, okay, like you, I smoked for 12 years. I smoked cigars. So that didn't help, right? So there's, probably 15%. Then I take fast food, Lyons Landscaping, my main company that I work with. What's at the front gate? Well, A&W.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's like too convenient.
Couple of Buddy Burgers.
Yeah, man. So it's like turns into this thing where it's like, okay, there's another little building block. That's not a good program to have there. So, that. And then it's like I had alcohol at that point in time. So I was, you'd have drinks and have a really good time. And so you'd have some bad food, then you'd have some alcohol. Then it's like, I thought I was doing the most wonderful thing in building a company. I just sat there driving a desk. I didn't go get exercise for a while. So at 46, you're 253 pounds, you're a big dude. And it's like, there's no muscle. It's just like bulk. And it's like, okay, you know what? You're carrying a lot of extra weight. So then you're not also getting cardio, but you think you're in pretty good shape. So, you there's another building block. And then you put another building block on top of that that's called stress. And when you're building a company or you're going your own road or you're trying to do something different, so there's another building block. So now you've stacked up, what have we got here now? 6 blocks or 7 blocks? Well, 7 of those 10 blocks aren't good little building blocks for you. They're bad. You've turned those into negatives. So you've really got to decide, okay, man, I can't have that many, bad things all stacked up together. Odds are I'm going to get hit with something and my health is going to pay for it. And that's what really I think happened. Genetics plays a little part of it or a bigger part of it. I've heard both. So you really got to look at all the things that you do. And all the things that you do make up that whole difference of whether you're going to be really healthy, moderately healthy, or unhealthy. And I think there's a real finite difference. And I don't think there's a lot of levels to go through because I really think you have to stay on the positive side of all of those things. You have to stay working on all those things all the time.
And being consistent with not eating A&W and getting up for cardio and having a healthy outlet to manage your stress instead of what a lot of men do. You just push it down and ignore it.
Oh, Kip, it was so fucking bad at one time, man. Well, not at one time. I'm going to be honest with you. It was multiple times.
Yeah.
And I would drive in and I'd be like starving. I'm just like, okay, you know what? I got to go. I got to get some food. There's A&W. Okay, you know what? I can grab 2 breakfast sandwiches and I can eat those things before I hit my office door so nobody sees me doing this. Because I was always like, okay, sort of healthy dude, right? Meanwhile, I was just fucking cheating the whole time. I'd wolf down in that time period a sandwich or a sandwich and a half. And then I'd go into work and I think everything would be just fine. And then I didn't realize this until long after that I was actually doing it deceivingly. I didn't want anybody to see me doing it.
Yeah, you were ashamed of it.
Yeah, and I didn't want to get busted. So I was fucking hiding this thing in the truck. I'd eat this thing really quick. That's not great for our health either.
You're just inhaling it, not even chewing at that point.
Yeah, so, you really catch yourself creating your bad habits and then accepting them and then the discipline to not stop them and then they become stronger. And then it becomes like muscle, right? You just keep doing it.
You're just in that kind of loop. It's the same as when you're on point with your diet and you're going to the gym every day and that's just your regular routine. And people say, how you been to the gym, 35 times this month? That's more times than there days in the month. And it's just kind of what I do. Same thing if every day when you leave work, there's A&W, you pull in there. I used to do kind of the same thing, wasn't with breakfast sandwiches. I'd be in a low mood. I'm driving home from work and there's a gas station 4 minutes down the road from my house, and I'd pull in there and I'd buy 2 family-sized chocolate bars and I'd eat them before I got home because I didn't want my fiance to know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I loved eating the chocolate bars. Don't get me wrong.
It's so true.
And I couldn't choose between the Cadbury one with the mini eggs in it or just the regular one. So I would get both and I'd eat them at the same time. And I did that a lot.
Oh, man. Right.
Yeah.
We can't beat ourselves up. We got to stay positive, but we all have something, right? Something that's kicking our butt. This is our assassin, like Dan Martell. I've just been through one coaching event with him, and I got another one coming up. And I mean, the guy's phenomenal. I get to go spend 2 days with him coming up here at the end of June, and I'm super stoked about
wicked.
that. Oh, it's totally wicked. But he calls them time assassins or assassins of your life. And it's like you read his book, Buy Back Your Time, and you really start to drill down on these vices, these assassins that really attack you, and you let them take over and take charge. And chocolate bars, I mean, yeah, give me a Reese's Pieces, man. That chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hello, dude. I was at Fuel before I came here tonight, and on the counter, I told Jake, I was smart enough, get this stuff off the counter. He's like, no, man, they sell right there.
Yeah, they're right there, right by the till. I buy them every time I go in there.
And they're great. They're fantastic. Yeah. They're good if you're training and burning the calories. But if you're not burning the calories and you're going to go sit on your butt, I really wanted one before I came here, by the way. But I really resisted off. And I just said, no, I'm not going to have that. I'm just going to be cool tonight.
Well, that was like today. We had a lunch at work and got sushi ordered in.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want? And I was like, well, I didn't know the lunch was happening, so I didn't budget out anything. Usually I would just get like sashimi. I already have all my meals weighed out. I know exactly what's in all of them. So while they had sushi, I had a steak, and then I had a wrap with chicken and homemade coleslaw in it. They make the coleslaw out of cabbage and 0% Greek yogurt. And then I take a jar of pickles, and I'll take the juices from it, and that's what you use for flavoring, little salt and pepper.
Oh.
I mean, cabbage is basically fiber, right? And so, and then you've got the crunch in there, what you're seeking. You've got the salts from the pickle juice. The chicken's in there, good. It's a whole wheat wrap, and those are some of my carbs that are budgeted for the day. And they all ate that. I did eat one bite of sushi though. I did, because I actually, you know what Ninja Creamy is?
No.
Ninja Creamy, you protein powder, you can use milk or you can use almond milk, and then you freeze it, and then afterwards you put it into this Ninja Creamy device, and it turns it into ice cream. So it's amazing. So I'll show you some recipes later.
Send me some. You know what? We got to share some stuff back and forth because we need these things, right?
Yeah, you need you still need food to taste well. You can't always just have boiled chicken and broccoli. I like to try and live by the rule that food is fuel, not entertainment. So it doesn't always have to be that bag of M&Ms or that McDonald's cheeseburger. But if 80% of the time your food's okay, and then 20% of the time it's like much better, or you can find the little hacks like the protein ice cream. Yeah, then it works out. But anyway, so I was going to have protein ice cream for breakfast this morning after the gym. I get home and I have my machine out, and I have my little tub, and you need this one piece to put it in, and I'm looking around and can't fucking find it. And then, Janelle, can you help me? I got to get to work. I'm going to be late. She's like looking around. And what happens sometimes when my kids unload the dishwasher, they don't know where something goes. So they'll just put it randomly. I found dishes in the fridge before. I found I found a pan like behind our island. There's a little cupboard where like the dog food is, and there's garbage bags. I found a pan in there before because they don't know where it goes. They're putting it away to the best of their ability. So I thought maybe they had tucked it away, and fuck, I couldn't find it. So then maybe I thought it was at work. So then I brought the whole machine with me to work so I could have it there. Along with the short of it, I'm not having those calories for the day. So I was able to have one bite of sushi with knowing that I'm not going to spill over for the day.
It's, when you really drill down, and you're counting calories, it's like, you got to be focused. Like it's a heavy energy. I give myself, I want to hear what you're doing, but I give myself a range that I can live in, and if I'm working out, I know I'm going to burn this many calories riding my mountain bike for an hour. I know I'm into if I ride Pineview and I'm going to climb, and then I'm going to ride down, and then I'm going to climb again, I know that I'm going to crank out 600 to 1,000 calories.
For sure.
You're going to be in that zone. If I hit those zones, then it's like, if I can do that 3 to 4 days a week with my gym workout, 5 to 6 days a week, giving myself a day of rest, it's like, okay, I know that I can slide in and out of this range of food that I like to eat, because I keep it simple, I eat the same shit every day.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I don't want to fuck up, so it's just like, it's like wearing clothes. I wear a black shirt every fucking day.
Yeah.
I get the same jeans. I bought 5 pairs of them so I can wear one every single day of the week. I don't have to think about shit anymore. I just keep it really simple, because it's like you're going to make stuff happen. The less you have to think about, the easier your life is. Mm-hmm. So it's like that calorie zone, the same food, 3 eggs or 4 eggs every single morning.
How many calories is your range for the day?
I like to be under 2,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That 1,500 to 2,000.
Yeah. How tall are you?
6'3".
Okay. What do you weigh right now?
I am 226.
Okay. And you're pretty jacked up for in your 50s. So,
So, and it's like, I want to be more, I'm focused on it. So my planned weight, I think I'm going to get down to about 215.
Okay. Yeah.
And if I can ride in that zone, you know what, I'll feel better. I'll feel lighter. And that's really what I focus on, is just having that real, like, athletic,
Yeah.
if you will. I don't need to be at the shred, and I don't need to have that full deal done, but I just I want to be athletic. I want to be able to get up and move. I want to be strong. I want to be able to go for a long time at something. And if it's mountain bikes, we go over some crazy rides. I ride with these hooligans that are absolutely fucking nuts. And we'll ride for like an hour and 45 minutes, and we'll climb like 700 meters vertical. And these guys are all like 8 and 10 years older than me. And they're like, you better keep up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, you know what? I know what I'm doing. We're going to get some calories down.
Yeah. I aim for my baseline is when I budget it out in the morning. I don't go over 2,000. So I'll be about there. But then I know, watches aren't 100% accurate, but today I'm at like 2,800 burned, and it'll probably end up around 3,032 for the day.
Yeah.
So, even if that's 80% accurate, that's like 2,500 in what I'm burned for the day. And then I'm trying to lose weight right now. I'm a little bit shorter than you, and I think I was 223 this morning.
Okay.
And I'd like to be like probably 205, just because with running, if I have less fat on me, then I'm just carrying less weight while I'm moving. Same if you're biking uphill. If you're 250, same amount of muscle, or you're 225, what's easier? Having that bag of potatoes on your back or not?
You nailed it. You nailed it. Good for you. So we're patrolling the same here.
Yeah.
Within like a couple pounds and the same calories within the same count. Yeah. This is cool.
Yeah. Except I got you beat. You said you were 253. I was 255.
How tall are you?
I say I'm 6'3", but I'm actually like just under, because I don't. For people like, how tall are you? Like, oh, I'm 6'2" and 7/8", but yeah, I'm 6'3".
Yeah,
So,
I think I'm just over.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, you walked in and from when I seen you at the gym, you are taller than I am. So
yeah, not much though, but we're pretty much the same. It's like athletic. I don't run.
Black shirts.
Yeah, right. We got it going on. But I've never got into the running thing. The mountain biking I can do, but my arthritis in my knees with the running, I don't know if I use that as an excuse, which is probably it. I just didn't like running. I never got into fucking running.
Well, if you don't like something, then it's going to be harder to do it in a consistent basis. But I got buddies who are in way better shape than me, and they don't run and they hate running, but they're mountain bikers and they're up and down that mountain. And I couldn't ride a mountain bike up a hill. I'd be gassed, but I can run up a hill.
Yeah. Right. Well, same thing, different speed.
I think a lot of it's up here though, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if you really put your mind to it, you could run up a hill, and
for sure,
vice versa. I could ride that bike up.
Yeah.
But I don't really enjoy biking. So
it's, you know what? It's like, we got to do what we enjoy. Like you said, that's a perfect thing of like, we just got to go with what we like.
Yeah.
And then just get good at it, or just do it consistently, and you're going to get good automatically, but just do what you like. Stay consistent.
I was running on Saturday, and it was some training to do another ultra. I'm doing the Sun Peaks is having one this year. Ooh, so yeah, June 28th. Nice. So I'm going to do a 50K then. So I need to get lots of vertical. And my coach had it in the plan. I needed to do up 1,000 feet, run back down. So it's 304 meters of elevation gain. So I'm trying to find a trail that's just up. Can't find anything. So I'm looking around town. I'm using like Map My Run. So I ended up finding it. It was right by TCC, all the way up Pack Way to just before the roundabout was 304 meters of elevation. So I jog/power hiked the harder parts all the way to the top, and then I sprinted back down to the bottom, and then I had to do it again. But you could either call it a mistake or a learning moment. So there's a kind of a rule in running, nothing new on race day. So you run in a pair of shorts you've already worn. You run in socks you've already worn, because you don't know what's going to blister, what's going to rub. So I had this wicked new pair of Hoka shorts, and they're about 3 inches long, and they've got like the old school like netting kind of in swim shorts.
Yep.
So I'm running, and I'm on my way back down the first time, and my legs start chafing, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm looking down there, and I was like, starting to get little red bumps. This sucks, and I'm like, we're not going to stop. So I get to the bottom, and it's getting pretty bad. So I'm trying to pull my shorts down so the shorts are in between. I ended up, it was so bad. I'm passing Runner's Sole. I ran into Runner's Sole, and I'm like, where are the shorts with liners? So they point me over there. I went, I grabbed the pair, know what size of them, go in, changed into them, bought them, threw my the old pair of shorts into my vest and kept going. And then I was able to finish it. But it was chafing bad, man. It was, it wasn't fun. Yeah.
Well, you didn't stop though. You just kept it going, right? You just figured it out.
Yeah. Well, if that store wasn't there, I would have kept going too. I'm not going to stop in the middle of a run.
Yeah.
I'll figure out the injury afterwards.
Just tear that mesh out.
It wasn't even the mesh. It was that there was nothing between my thighs.
Okay.
Big boy problems.
Yeah. That's never good.
Too many squats.
Dude.
Yeah. I was sometimes talking to like bodybuilders and stuff like, how much you weigh? I'm like, I'm 225. And they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, they pull my legs out and they're like, oh, just tree trunks, right?
Yeah.
Same with riding bike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the old legs when you're riding the bike or running.
Yeah.
But it's so good to be strong in the legs. Like it's such a fundamental part of your body. But yeah, I get that too. When we're backpacking and we're gone for like a long time in the mountains, and you're hunting sheep or you're chasing these mountains, and you got like 65 pounds on your back, and you're doing that every day, and it's like you haven't had a shower for a few days, so it's like you're gonna chafe. Something's gonna rub. Your rule of like nothing new on race day, I love that. It's like that's almost like the rule in the mountains too. Though I never thought about it that way. That's a really cool way to look at it.
Yeah, you don't want to take out a brand new shirt new material, new company, and you get out there and the seam just rests in that one spot where your pack is.
Yeah.
And now you've got a big rash on your shoulder,
Yeah.
and you still got to carry that the whole time, and that's the only shirt you have.
Totally. No, that's such a good point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna measure that this year. We're planning our trip right now, so I'm like looking at gear, looking at new stuff, and I'm like, whatever I'm going to take now, I'm going to make sure that I've like well worn it in.
Yeah, and even if it could be a new shirt, but it's you say you buy 5 of the same pair of jeans. You know, if you buy that pair of jeans, it's going to be the same. It's going to fit. So if you have, whether it's your bag because your old one ripped it, but you love that one, and it sits well, it rides well, you can hike it up high so the weight's on your back instead of on your lower back, then you're good to go. But yeah, I won't even do nutrition stuff. I was on a race and I'm on, I don't know, like kilometer 40, and I roll up to the aid station. Like, hey, do you want some pierogies? Yeah, I want some fucking pierogies, but I've never eaten them while I'm trained before, so I had to skip on that. What about a freezy? And it's 35 degrees out. Ooh. I'm okay. I'll just take water and my electrolytes that I have. I'm not going to take anything that I haven't eaten before. And then you run up and there's some guy throwing up because he ate 15 pierogies and he's not used to all that grease and that, the heavy carbs in the middle of a 35 degree weather long run.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I couldn't imagine that. Oh man. It would be so hard to stay off it, eh?
To not eat the pierogies?
Yeah.
Well, as you're running up, you can smell like the bacon and the onions. Oof. And all I've had that day is I like the Uncrustables. They're like those sandwiches, and then they cut the crust off and they come frozen. It's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on white bread.
I haven't even seen those.
Yeah, you can buy them at Costco. They're pack of like 40 for like $20 or something.
Really?
Yeah. So I love those for running. It's white bread, so it digests really easy. It's got some sugar in it from that, and then the jam as well. And then I can eat peanut butter and not have to worry about duct taping the jar back up after. But it's things that I know will digest well in my system.
Yeah.
Because most of the guys just use they're called goos, just like a little energy packet. And I think they kind of taste like shit. So I don't like those. I eat those and like Sour Patch Kids.
No kidding.
Tons of candy.
Sour Patch Kids, eh?
Yeah.
Oof.
That's my go-to.
I had Juju this weekend. They were so good.
Were you biking though? That'd be a great time to have them then.
I was driving around looking for berries. It was like so fantastic. I was just like nom, 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 nom. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to have these, then I got to lean off something else. But it was like good to have that little fun treats, right?
Yeah, I don't eat them every day. I'm sure people with my content think that I'm just smashing back family bags, but like that run on Saturday, I think it was 2,000 calories that I burned. So I was like 6,000 for the day. And I'm like, okay, I need to eat more. So I think I ate like 4,500 that day.
Yeah.
But you got to rebuild what you've broken down.
Yeah. Or you're going to go backwards like real quick.
Yeah.
That's amazing when you start counting your calories and you really look at what you're doing for activities. On those days that you're really like, okay, I can eat more today. Oh no, I have to eat more today. Mm-hmm. I just no choice. I have to eat more if I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Yeah. I try to, a buddy of mine, a mountain biker, I asked him about his nutrition's dialed. He's got, I don't know what biking app it is. He does a lot of road biking as well, but he is, I think 6 or 7 years, every single bike ride he's done tracked, and then like just crazy amount of data. So I asked him what he did, and this is how I got on to knowing that the calorie trackers aren't 100% accurate. He goes, they're not 100% accurate. So what I do is I replenish 70% of the calories that I burned. And he's like, I'll go for the easy things that are the quick sugars, because your body needs the protein, needs the sugars right away. So I'll look at it. I'm like, well, I burned 500 more than I thought I was. So now I'm going to eat this whole, package of Skittles, guilt-free.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I like candy though.
Skittles are good. What did I have the other day? We were driving up there, and I stopped and bought those peanut M&Ms. Mm-hmm. Like, I haven't had these for like years. You know what? I'm having these this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to eat these things. I put the first one in my mouth. It was like an absolute party in my mouth. And it was like, okay, let's eat a few more of these bad boys. And then we're going to have a good time. Oh, if I get gone.
Have you had the peanut butter M&Ms?
No.
Don't then.
Oh, yeah.
So the peanut M&Ms were my go-to for probably 20 years. And then the peanut butter ones came out.
Oh,
I had one of those. And it was like heaven in my mouth. So I could crush a whole family bag of those.
It's amazing how when you eat sugars or salts or things like that, and you don't do this, and you eat. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm not perfect, but I'm pretty good at what I'm eating. But when you have that stuff, you just start drooling. Like, I just go into drool mode, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like, what's going on here? I'll eat a piece of moose jerky, and I haven't eaten anything for a while. It's just like the salts and everything, and it's just like, oh yeah, nom 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 nom, and just go crazy.
So, well, especially like the packaged food, it's all so hyper palatable, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that hit of sugar. So when I first went on my ADHD meds, I went off caffeine for about 3 months, and I'm really good about, managing my calorie intake and all that. And I was on a 25 or 28 kilometer run, and I was about halfway through, and I wanted to test having sugar and caffeine in the middle of it. Yeah. So I had a can of Coke, and I'd shaken it up so it was flat, and then I opened it, and then I was actually doing laps at MacArthur Island. So then I ran 2 more laps on their 5K, and I came back to it. And I had, it wasn't Coke Zero, it was like full sugar one. And I had maybe a third of it. And then right away, it's like when you see in the movies and the guy's eyes like dilate.
Yeah.
It hit right to the veins, and I was in like super mode, man. I was just fucking powering through, and it shows you how much sugar and there's only, it was like 50 milligrams of caffeine in a can of Coke. So not that many, or maybe even less than that, but the sugars of it and how easy to digest. And I wanted to slam the whole thing, but I was worried about getting sick with it. But if that gives that effect to me when I'm a little bit low because I'm doing an endurance event, what is it doing to the people that are knocking back 2 or 3 of these, 6 of them while they're sitting at a desk, not active? And that's how you get, start to build in the wrong spots.
Yeah.
That's how I got to 255.
Gosh.
That was my wake up call.
So you had the drinks all the time. Was that the main one that got you? Like Coca-Cola or
it was
soft drinks?
It was Wendy's.
Oh, Wendy's.
Yeah. I was.
Fuck, those are good burgers.
Oh man, I would get the double baconator, and I would get the fries and a drink, and I would get a chicken sandwich.
The baconator.
That was every day.
Oh.
So I was we went to St. Lucia. This was a couple of years ago, and the months leading up to it at my company, none of us had a vacation yet. So I was like the first one to go on vacation. So I had to working, 10, 12 hours a day, building these systems to make sure that while I was gone, everything ran well for what my responsibilities were. To work 10 to 12 hours a day, you need to sacrifice something else. So I wasn't going to the gym, I wasn't running, I wasn't eating well. And I didn't realize how big I had gotten. And then when we got back from St. Lucia, we were looking through some videos, and I had been down in the ocean, and then they have, you turn the tap on and there's like the outdoor shower. So I'm outdoor shower, and I'm leaned over, and my fiance, was my girlfriend at the time, and she's filming me, and I'm washing, and you can just see just like a bag of milk underneath me, just swaying back and forth. And I saw that, and I was like, that's what I fucking look like. She's like, she's like, yeah, but I mean, you see yourself every day. I'm like, you do see yourself every day. So it's hard to notice those small changes. But over that course of 3 months, I probably put on, I don't know, like 30 pounds. But you eat Wendy's every day. It's probably 3,000 calories in one meal plus other food.
Yeah.
So that was my big, okay, I need to I need that little more of that work-life balance, and I need to really get back into the gym.
Oh man, good thing you caught it when you did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like what was the determining factor? Was that picture of you walking, seeing yourself come up the beach with the big milk belly? Was that the turning point? What was it? What was the turning point for you?
I think that probably was it, because I used to be a power lifter, and I was like 240 and jacked, and I've done all sorts of sports my whole life and always been in good shape. And yeah, I saw that, and I was not impressed with myself. I was like you said, oh, you took a look in the mirror before you got here. So I looked at myself, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, why are you doing this to yourself? This isn't something that before that, always count my calories. So I was counting calories before there was calorie trackers, and I obviously missed the $1 million idea. I had made an Excel sheet when I was like 20 years old, and you'd type in the food, and then a menu would pop up, and you'd put chicken breast, and you put how many grams it was, and then it would pull the calories for you. So I had this whole spreadsheet for me and my buddies like 20 years ago.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I was early on the calorie counting thing.
Wow.
But obviously I had fallen off from that, and then it was the wake up call, just seeing how kind of far I had fallen from where my previous highs were.
Good for you for pulling out of that. Yeah. You got the cardio thing on there, so it's like a really big adopter for like staying healthy is that cardio, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a big miss for a lot of people is you can go to the gym every day, but then it's like the cardio is the one that really helps you stay healthy.
I can remember when I was powerlifting, I was a big boy, and I had no cardio, and I would be out of breath tying my shoes. So I've noticed as I've gotten older that cardio aspect, being able to play with my kids and run around, and even just going up a flight of stairs before was difficult, especially when I was that big boy, and it definitely made a big change with that in regards to focusing back on the healthy eating. It took me a long time to lose that weight. There's a lot of weight.
It's amazing once you build that up and you build that habit, and it's like it's so hard to get started, and then it's so hard to keep consistent, and then it's so hard to say no to your friends going to do that shit, to drive by. Everything's so convenient now. It's so convenient to get yourself into trouble. So it's like so hard to keep all that together. Yeah, but that cardio is the big one. When I had my cardiac arrest, it was a real eye opener how much that cardio or the cardiac condition of human beings are. And I was listening to everybody around me. It was just crazy how much you notice. And it's once you go through that, it's like, okay, I'm going to get my cardio now. All the fucking time. I'm going to get my cardio.
And people think that cardio just means that you can run or bike for a long distance, but it's actually about your heart health.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cardiovasculars. It's blood moving flow through. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How much oxygen you're getting is like in your blood flow, right? Mm. So it's a big eye opener. Yeah. I
think a bigger eye opener for me was when I stopped drinking. It's 7 a bit years ago. So my roommate at the time, we threw we called it a Misfits party. It was Christmas Eve, and it was we had a lot of friends. I was a bartender at the time that weren't from Kamloops, so they didn't have a lot of family around. Yeah. So we threw this big party for anyone that wanted to come that didn't have anyone to celebrate with. So we have this party, we get all, pissed up, and then the next morning we're sitting eating Pizza Hut, and I'm like, what the fuck's that smell? And I'm like, couldn't figure it out. Couldn't find it. And then it's like 3 hours later, because I remember specifically on Christmas Day that year, that Will Smith movie Bright, where he's a cop and there's like orcs and stuff. It came out, so we're watching that. It's the end of it. I was like, fuck, what is that smell? Finally figured it out. It's underneath me. A girl had passed out on the couch and pissed herself. And then she left, and she had turned the cushion over, but it had soaked through in that like 3 hours I was lying on it. So I was lying in someone's urine for hours, and I was so disgusted. And so that was Christmas Day, and then it was 6 days later, and it's New Year's Eve. And I'm like, I want to start a new tradition. People always say, oh yeah, what's your New Year's resolution? So then I started a tradition where I'm going to choose something that I don't think I can do for a year. So I said, I'm not going to drink for a year. So first couple of months were a little harder, and then started to get easier. And my partner, Janelle, she's like, I'm going to do it with you, but if I want to have a drink, I'm going to have one too. I'm like, oh, that's fine. And we're about 6 months in, and she says, I don't think I'm going to ever drink again. I'm like, oh, I'm going to for sure. And I was a pretty heavy drinker though. So especially being in the bartending scene for so long and just sort of grew up with it all around me, was just it was normal, right? It's been normalized. And then we got to a year, and then my buddy's like, yeah, we're going to throw you this huge party. You get to drink again. And I was like, no, I'm fucking done. It's been a year. I'm not looking back. And they were all disappointed in me. And it's like, well, maybe some of you guys aren't as, good of friends as I thought you were. And I did lose a lot of friends. I wasn't that party guy anymore.
Yep.
So yeah, that was seven Christmases ago.
Man, congrats.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's the biggest change in my life ever.
Discipline, man. Keep the poison out, right? I still have wine once. I had a glass of wine this weekend. Yeah. And it was like, it tastes so fucking good. It tastes so good. But I was like, I finished it. You're just like, did I really need that? No, but I enjoyed it. So it's like, okay, once in a while I'll have a little taste here and there. And I don't drink very much anymore either. But it's more of that control thing. But man, what a difference it is without alcohol in your body.
Yeah. We did the math in that first year. We figured from not drinking, when you go out for lunch with a friend, you have a beer. And then, you don't have those nights out. And then the next day you're not, buying McDonald's and stuff. We figured we saved about $10,000 that first year just from not drinking. Plus how much extra productivity did I earn? That was actually in that year of not drinking. That's when I got into powerlifting. And that's when I was the most consistent I've ever been at the gym. I go twice a day sometimes.
Good for you.
Yeah. It was
killing it.
It was pretty awesome. Yeah. I never looked back. For me, drinking I was never just like one glass of wine. It'd be like the whole bottle and then another one, or, out for a drink after work with buddies. And it's either I have 0 or I'd have like 15.
Go time.
So yeah, it was always go time. Yeah. So I was good if I didn't have any. They're like, let's have some beers. I'm like, no, because I know that, the monster I'm going to turn into. Yeah. And not that I was an angry drunk or anything. I just life of the party, like to have fun. But yeah, I knew it was all or nothing. I'm very black or white.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, I'm either into something 110% or I'm out. My mom used to say if I was getting injured or I was doing sports or I was working on a school assignment, I would never half-ass anything. I always full-assed it, she said.
Really?
Yeah, from a young age, always been that way.
So you had that ability built in.
Yeah, I think just kind of in my brain, this is kind of how I'm wired. And sometimes it's been not as good, when it came to the alcohol, or I get a little too obsessed with maybe powerlifting or running, and I'm so dialed into my nutrition that I'm not gonna, we go for Thanksgiving. I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna have any of that. I'm just gonna have the dark meat, and I'm not having any gravy. And it was like so disciplined. I'm a little better with that now. Yeah. But then other things where if it's running, it's like, okay, I'm going to do 25K today. I'm going to go for that 25K. It doesn't matter if I roll my ankle in the middle of it. I'm just going to keep going. I don't have I'm a bit stubborn in that fact. Even if I'm injured, I'll just push through it.
Yeah. Totally. Good for you. Have you done 75 hard?
No, I know about it though. So
yeah. It was good. I did it twice.
Yeah. But it's you need to read 10 minutes a day. You need to exercise outside and inside every day. 2
workouts a day.
Yeah.
1 inside, 1 outside, no matter what. You got to read 10 pages of nonfiction, drink a gallon of water, take a picture of yourself, diary, write in your diary every single day, and no alcohol. And it was like, it's so life-changing when you actually really drill down on it. It was a super challenging time for me when I did it, but I said, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to make sure I do this.
Well, it's probably good to do it during a challenging time because it builds routine into you and it builds discipline. And then if all those things day to day are a hard thing to do, maybe some of the other things that are challenging in your life don't seem like they're so hard anymore.
It made everything easy after that. Or not everything, but it made a lot more stuff a lot easier, right? We were redoing the downtown core of Smithers, and we're redoing, it's a civil landscape project, so we're taking the whole 6 blocks of downtown Smithers apart and putting it back together. So I was driving back and forth to Smithers, and you got to get 2 workouts in a day. Well, it's 9 hours to drive to Smithers.
It's a long drive. Yeah, done it many times.
Now you got to have good food because you got to count your calories.
Okay.
You got to count your macros. So it was really hard to put that food together, to have that consistent, healthy stuff, to not go through drive-through, to work out before you leave. So you're going at 3 a.m. and you're going for a workout. Then you're getting the pickup truck. Then you're driving to Smithers. I get to Smithers, get the mountain bike out, don't even unload the truck, and I go for 45 minutes or an hour. And then it's get in, you just do your stuff and you're zonked, you're in bed. But it just really makes you, that 75 Hard was such a beneficial program. And Andy Frisella's just a killer dude, or killer program that he put together just to really challenge you and to really get you out. Not about fitness, but just about doing what you say you're going to do.
Was that one of the things you did after you had your heart attack then?
Yeah, I incorporated that into. So it was like an interesting time for me because when I was in the hospital for 10 days and I got to see all kinds of stuff. And being an entrepreneur, I just studied everybody. I looked at everything and I looked at their habits, what they were doing, what they would do every day. All the cardiologists, they look like they're about as thick as pencils. They were the most in shape people or the most out of shape people, but they carried the least amount of fat. Let's put it that way. And I studied the janitors, I studied the nurses, I looked at everybody, man. And I was like, okay, what do I want to be like or what do I not want to be like? And what are they doing? What's making the difference for them? So I got out of there and I'm like, okay, one thing's for sure. I got to make a difference. The number 2 thing is I had to give myself a target. So I gave myself a smoking good target to hit. And in 12 months, and I didn't tell anybody this target. I kept it to myself, so I made sure that I was going to hold my own with it. And I didn't want to jinx it, but I also knew that if I told some people I was going to go do this, they would say, no, you're not fucking allowed to do that after what just happened because you can't be alone.
Well, there's been a study too about if you tell people about what you're going to do. So say you want to run a marathon, you tell them you're going to run a marathon and they're like, yay, that's great. Congratulations. You get the dopamine hit up front.
Yeah.
So it's less likely you're actually going to complete the goal because you've already gotten praise for it.
Yeah, totally. So I was sitting in the bed in the suite at St. Paul's Hospital. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go hunt sheep solo in the mountains, and I'm going to go hunt a ram. And in 12 months, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get myself in such good shape in 12 months that I'm going to go do that. So I got myself in shape. I lost all the weight. I went and hiked. I biked. I did everything. And I got myself into that super shape. And right before hunting season was going to start, I said to Lisa, I've got to go to the hospital. And they hook you up with all the, the stickers and the electrodes things. And they make you run on the machine to see if you got a good health-wise where you stand on being healthy.
The stress test, yeah.
Yeah, so I did that, and then I was in such good shape that I beat like 90% of the firemen. And I was really fucking proud of myself. I'm like, I did that in 12 months. Why don't I just do this all the time?
What can you accomplish if you just keep with it?
Right?
Yeah.
So I said to the nurse, I said, is this fucking normal? She says, no, this is not normal at all. And she's, especially for a cardiac arrest patient to come in here and do this. And she says, and to top it off, you just quit running because you were done. You could have kept going. And I'm like, yeah. She says, so that's even nuts. I'm like, okay, fucking cool. We're at the right place. I could actually finally tell Lisa now. So I go home and I tell Lisa, I'm going for a solo sheep hunt. I passed my physical thing at the hospital and I am going to go do this because I set myself this target and that's why I'm in this shape, because I was going to go hunt sheep and I was going to go solo in the mountains alone and I was going to go try my damnedest to harvest the sheep because I might not ever get that again because of what I went through. And she's like, okay, because you did that, I'm cool. You're in really good physical shape, so way to go, do that. And I went away and did that. And then it's like I came back from that hunt. It was successful. I got my ram, nearly killed myself doing it. It was insane. It's a whole story. But it's like I got back from that. And a couple of years later, I kind of slumped into the human behavior habit of just like letting stuff go a little bit, letting off the gas pedal and just letting normal kick back in. And I realized I needed something. And I skipped along, reading books. I read Andy Frisella. And then I read the 75 Hard. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm going to do this. So I started out the first time and I did it. And then I failed. I forgot to take a picture one day. So you fucking got to start over.
All over again.
All over again. One picture, 38 days in. I was like, oh, fuck. Well, I can't, I'm not going to cheat. What do I do? Call myself a liar? I'm not even going to tell anybody. This stupid dude, like, way to go. So I actually just went hard on it again. And I came out of that thing with in some really good shape. Like I was really healthy, really strong, really athletic, because I just stayed the course of the program, right? And then I was like, okay, I can do this. Give it some months off. Then I went and did it again. And then he's got this Live Hard for a year, like a Live Hard program.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done that yet, but I'm really gassing myself up to think about, spending some time doing that. But it was those couple of programs, but setting that target on the wall to get in shape and to get healthy, it was like, that was one of the key things. It's just, I gave myself a target and I actually wrote it down. And that's the only reason I sort of got back into my health routine after being a cardiac. I believe was one of the big things that really helped me, is having that target.
Before you had your event, I know you were saying you're going like A&W and stuff. Had you been in the gym in your life previously at all, or was the gym a brand new thing to you?
No, I'd been in the gym lots.
Yeah.
I was younger. I got pretty jacked when I was younger. I used to train at Clint Gaffard's gym, and I would train with him and Stu and a bunch of guys. There were some really big dudes that were really like, they had that going on to, how to build a better, bigger, stronger body. And I got into that when I was younger, pretty good. So it was like, there's a muscle memory for me to just
like riding a bike.
Into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, but I didn't hammer on the cardio when I was younger. I just hammered on the weights. I think I was weighing 267 pounds and I had a 6-pack.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Like it was just like, it was nuts. So like you're like, okay, we got to change things. But it's what you do when you're younger. It did that. But I trained, I worked out in the gym when I was younger. Yeah.
So easy to get back in there. And it wasn't just curls for the girls anymore. It was something for the heart. I don't have a funny one to say for that.
Yeah, that's so it, right? It's like, okay, let's focus on being healthy. Let's focus on being athletic. And, as we age, it's like, I think that's the most important thing we can do. Have you seen that stuff about the blue zones?
Yeah, for sure.
So we kind of went on a trip this winter, and we went to Costa Rica to the blue zones, and we really poked around and checked it out. And it has a lot to do with like that longevity of healthy living. A lot of them don't really go to the gym or per se stuff like that, but I think the gym is a real component to being able to live a longer, healthier life. Or at least if you're thinking, I'm going to live to 100, because people are like, oh, that'll never happen. Well, no shit. If you keep thinking that, it's never going to fucking happen. But if you put that as a target, 100, 120, whatever you want, and if you're thinking, if I'm going to live to 91, but I'm going to live a healthy life to 91, then the gym is like one of the most important things that's going to help keep you in that.
Yeah, I've thought about, my own mortality, and it's not so much about the age that I do live it to. It's that whenever I do pass, it's making sure that those last, 5-10 years of life, I'm not in a walker. I'm not hunched over. The last 10 years are quality years opposed to beep, beep on a breathing machine or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandpa was 97, I think. He did, he did MAID, so medical assisted dying, and that was his choice. But he was still up, walking around. He golfed tons, and then he stopped golfing when his eyesight started to go. And then he said he realized. He said, I was ruining a good walk by chasing that ball around. So he was super active. I think he was 6'6".
Wow.
Like, just a giant of a man. But yeah, he was super healthy right up until the day that he chose was his last.
Good for him. I mean, that's the goal, right? How can I live the healthiest, the longest? I don't know. I think about that a lot.
I think it's really important now too, because all our foods and everything, like you said, everything's temptation. You drive by, there's an A&W, there's a McDonald's. It's quick, it's easy, it's hyper palatable. It's not as fun as going home and making your own chicken and everything, but those are the things that slowly stack up. It's the same as being consistent with going to the gym, those healthy habits. But if you have those bad habits, they lead to the thing like the cardiac arrest at 47, you said?
46, yeah.
46.
Yeah.
That's young.
Too young, man.
Yeah.
Way too young. But it's a good lesson. I take it as it's like I've turned it into an amazing thing that's happened to me. Mm-hmm. And now it's like my job to give back or to share or to help people like not get into it. So it's like we really focus at that at the office. And I really focus on sharing that story with some people. I'm sharing it more now I spoke at Rotary the other day and shared that story, and it was like,
Great story.
touching to some, hopefully it made a big difference for some people. I know it's made a difference for a lot of my friends. So there's a lot of good that's come from it. And it's just focusing on that. Well, let's turn this into good, right?
So speaking on that good, when your book comes out, you got to do an audiobook, and you can't let anyone else read it. You have to read it. It has to come from your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound great through the headphones, man. And I know that you'll be able to articulate how you felt in those moments better, those highs, those lows. And because I've had some books, I've listened to them, and it's someone else reading. I'm like, I want to hear it from their perspective. And then I've other books like, Cameron Haynes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? So I'm listening to his second book right now, and I loved his first one, but he's reading it, and you could hear, like when his friend Roy passed away, you could hear it in his voice, like how much he meant to him and how big of influence on his life and the trajectory that he took. And I feel like, especially when you're telling that story about how you changed things around after you had your cardiac event, you could really put the emotion into that and really pull people in and help them.
Oh, cool, man. Thanks. This is good to hear. You don't think about those things all the time, right? But yeah, you think of like whether you're going to tell a story or not, but then it's like, you have your special people that read to you that really impact you. And those people are like, and Cameron Haynes is one of those guys. Like, he touches you. Andy Frisell is, he's just rough and tough, and he's like, go get her. He's like one of those guys too. Dan Martell's another guy. Like, there's some people that really can read, and you can really take in what they're saying just because you feel that emotion in the words.
Yeah, that connection.
Yeah.
That's what life's all about, connections and relationships. So
Yeah. Totally. We need lots more of it, right? That's why this has been fun tonight. We were hanging out with you, like having a good time, like talking about shit.
And that's what this whole thing is about. So I'm not sure if Adrian told you, but the podcast is called You Should Quit.
Yeah.
Real stories with those who refuse to, no bullshit.
Yeah.
So I was actually being interviewed by Kevin, and we were at the TCC, and he's doing a little a YouTube series, and he's asking me questions. I'm answering them. And when we're off camera, I'm a personal guy. I like to chat, know who I'm talking to. I'm very, very curious. I have a lot of wonder. And I tried talking to him about stuff, and he's got some crazy stories and mountain biking and like the professional level and all this. And I wanted to hear more of his story. So then I got to thinking, what's the platform? Like, how can I get other people's stories out there? I know about me. I want to know about you. I want to know about someone else. And then that's how this came about. It's just awesome people telling real stories. And there isn't a framework to how we go. We just sort of I don't even ask questions. I recognize you from the gym. That's how we started this, and whatever comes up.
That's super cool. That's super cool, because I recognize you from the gym when I was talking to Adrian. You're going to love this. This is even funnier. So Kevin Wood.
Yeah.
So that's who I was trying to keep up with on the mountain bike when I tore my ACL.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, him and Tara. I mean, they're demons on the bike, right? And I tried to keep up with them that day, and it didn't work.
Yeah. He was telling me stories. Like he's very fit too, as well, especially on that bike.
Oh yeah. And these guys do jujitsu every week.
Yeah, he was telling me about that too.
Yeah. He's like, well, why didn't you come out? I'm like, I don't need to get beat up. I'm okay with that.
My worry about that, like I would love to get into jiu-jitsu, is that all or nothing attitude I have.
Yeah.
I know that if I find something else that I love, that I have to give up something else as well. But two of my buddies are really into pickleball. And I went down and played one time, and it was hyper competitive. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. Put the pedal down. Like, they're like, come out and play. I'm like, nope, not going to play ever again, because I'm going to have to give up something else that I love to be able to make the time for this.
Yeah. This is it, right? Is like, how many of these activities and things can you do and play? And I haven't held myself back, because I love doing all this shit. So it's like, now it's like, I think about things differently. This transformation just happened this year. And it's like, okay, I got to buy back my time. I read Dan's book, and it's like a phenomenal read. And now I'm focused on, how do I buy back my time so I can do more of this stuff? I don't want to make any less dough. I want to make more dough. I can help more people, but I also want to go play. I want to do fun shit more. So it's like, okay, well, we got to get to work on this. So I'm just focused on, like, how do I get more activities? Because I played, like you, pickleball. I'm in this pickleball WhatsApp thing, and they're like, hey, you coming to play pickleball today? I'm like, fuck no. I got to go to work, man. It's all these retired people. And when you hit that 50s, your early 50s, you're hanging out with people that are like 60 or 65 or like mid 55 plus. They're all retired. They're like, oh, you can just come play too. No, I still live in reality. I still got to go to show. I got to show up. I got to get shit done. I got to make an impression. I got to go to work. We got people to serve. You know, I got a team that I want to work with. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I'd really like to go play too. Don't get me wrong. I just want to go play all the time, but I still really enjoy what I do. So, but that crowd, that 50, and then you start hanging out with 60, 65-year-olds that are retired. They're like, come play. We're going to go do this today. We're going to travel here. We're going to go do this. It's like, hold on. So like you, saying no to stuff is like really important.
Yeah, difficult as well. With I know you're an entrepreneur. Do you actually ever see yourself retiring? Because I know for myself, with starting my own business, I love building it. I love seeing it grow. But the thought of not doing that and then just having all free time, like I need to stay busy. I can't see myself ever stop creating. And I don't know what form that, maybe it's the podcast. Maybe I could just podcast all the time, but I don't know if I could ever actually, I don't want to call it working, you know what I mean? But I don't know if I could ever just stop. How do you see yourself when it comes to a retirement?
I think it's fun to serve and help. And I think there's a lot of enjoyment to be given to that, especially when you have something to give and when you have some experience to give back to either people that are either trying to make it, people that need your help, people that just want some advice, or people that would just, you want to do something fun with. Because creation, like building a company, like, you know, we're building another company, the Lux Lou, and the creation part of it, even recreating Lyons Landscaping, you know, we're recreating what it's doing right now and where it's going to go and how it's going to act in the marketplace. And that part of it is like really fun stuff. There's the bullshit that you don't want to be a part of. But when you think of retirement, can you, like, if you don't have to really take a vacation from what you're doing, that's kind of retired. So it's like, if you can choose to take time off, and I'm no good at this yet, but I'm going to be. And there's some people that I'm going to hang out with, like hiring Dan Martell to, you know, some coaching and how to build a life that has this mixture in it. I don't think you necessarily need to really plan to retire. I think you can plan to spend whatever time you want to spend doing the things you want to do. And part of that should be one of the 3 favorite things you do. You need a hobby to keep yourself in shape, you need a hobby to make money, and you need a hobby to be creative. And I think if you can complete all those things in a 24-hour time period, I think you can really make a difference in your life so that you're actually doing all 3 of those things all day long. And I think if you're focusing on something like that, where you can put that together, where your family fits into all of that, because, you know, like Lisa, her 2 boys, or our 2 boys now, we get to talk business. And then we get to talk creativity and what they're going to do and help them like make, you know, informed decisions. And, you know, you don't tell them this or that, but you answer their questions. And so that's the creative side. And it's the juices that really help you flow to keep you working and to keep that going. So I think it's like retirement. What does that look like? Everybody's just different. And I think the scary part is that if you say, I'm going to retire at 60, it's like, are you preparing to die? And I think that's the scary part of it, where people are so gassed up with having an ending. And I think that's the part that makes it rougher when you finally get to that stage.
I love how you put it there with the 3, you need the 3 hobbies. The one hobby to keep you in shape, the one hobby for making money. And what's the third one you said?
To be creative.
Yeah, be creative. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was a financial guru, and he was upset because people kept coming to him like, I need more passive income so I can retire early. I need more passive income so I can retire early. He said, that's not what you need. He's like, you're 35 and you want to retire when you're 40. You don't need more passive income. What you need to have is passionate income. What you're doing, you need to love, because if you love going to work every day, it's not work anymore. Yep. And especially if you can be creative in your job and you can access that part of your mind, and you have a problem to solve, and you go in there and you work with your team and you're moving pieces around the board and you're loving figuring out this problem and solving and creating new things. I mean, some days at my job, it's the end of the day and I don't even realize the whole day has gone by because I've been so in the zone, and I love being there. Like even like right now, it's been over 2 hours, and it seems like it's been like 15 minutes because I love doing this. This is very passionate for me. So if people can not just be, just grinding that 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong, nothing against that. I was a diamond driller, and at the same time on my turnarounds, I would bartend as well. I grinded, and I got to a better place, but I wasn't passionate about that. I hated diamond drilling. I used to have nightmares about it. I used to wake up years after I finished. And for those who don't know a diamond drill, it's basically a sea-can. There's 2 doors on it. There's a hole in the floor where the drill goes through, and you're stuck in this cube for like 12 hours, and it's 40 degrees on the inside of it, and it's minus 40 outside. But I would wake up and think I was on the drill, and I would wander into the closet, and I'd be banging around trying to get out of the drill. Like that's how much I fucking hated that job.
Oh.
So now that I have these passion things, I could podcast 12 hours a day. I could just sit and, we're going to have to stop eventually because we have too much to talk about. It could keep going, and no one wants to listen to a 5-hour one.
Yeah.
But I love doing this. So if you can find that thing that you love that doesn't feel like a fucking drag every day, and you wake up and you're like, fuck, I got to drive into work. I worked today, and I was like, I couldn't count down the minutes fast enough to get here, just to sit down and just have a conversation.
Yeah, you know what? Me too. I was like super stoked that I seen this on my calendar today. And I didn't check my calendar. Usually I check it the day before, but I didn't check it. And today was like, okay, cool. We're going to finish with something super fun today. Like this is going to be a blast. Then I hit the wall early, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hit the wall early, and I was just like, damn it. You got to get a snap out of this. You got to pull yourself together. You're going to do something fun. Oh yeah. I'm going to do something fun tonight. Okay, cool. Just helping yourself get over that hurdle, but doing the fun shit, fun things that you like to do. Focus on that, man. It's so much better, right?
I think
that's retirement.
Yeah, well, for sure. I could quit if I could quit my other job and make enough money just to get by doing this. Then that's what I would do for sure.
Yeah, and there's so much value to be had from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to share your story with like how many other people that are going to pay attention and that want to learn something or want to pick something up from you and your channel of what you're doing. I think it's fabulous what you're doing, by the way.
Thank you.
And I'm honored to be here, and I'm really appreciative to be a guest here and share some of my story and spend some time with you, and just have a good conversation.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy these moments.
I foresee you coming on more than once. So
yeah, we'll do it again for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. But it's fun stuff because you're going to give people so much value from this. How could that not be fun? How could that be not creative?
Yeah. I read something, and I'm going to butcher it, but it was something along the lines of the biggest tragedy happening today because of technology and how much the quick dopamine hits is people only have a little to give, even if it's as simple as holding that door open for that elderly woman as she walks in because she's on a walker and can't do it herself. Even if you only have a little bit to give, still give, because if you don't, then it's just a spiral downhill from there.
Yeah, we're deep down, and I believe this, deep down in each side of us, each one of us wants to give everybody something. And when we deny ourselves from that, we make ourselves feel like shit. Nobody else has to do that. And when like you said, if you have just holding the door open for somebody, that's such a gift. And I believe it is a gift because it doesn't happen very much anymore. But I believe it is a gift. And if it makes you feel good, then you should do it. And you should do it 10 times that day. You should do it 20 times that day. Because holding that door for 20 people is going to make a massive difference. Maybe somebody just can't pull the door. Who knows what it is. Or somebody just having a rough day. Or somebody just needed a nice gesture.
Mm-hmm. Even just a smile.
You made somebody's day better.
Yeah.
You thought about them.
Yeah. You don't know if that person that you smiled at, maybe they have agoraphobia and they're afraid to go outside. And that's the first time they've been outside in 2 weeks. And they see your big toothy grin and they're like, yeah. People do like me. And then that helps them on their journey to, coming back into society and being able to give back as well.
Yeah. And it's just like, don't deny yourself. Because you deny yourself too many times. We just deny ourselves of that small, simple pleasure too many times. Helping other people is what we're supposed to do.
My fiance the other day, she said, can I confront you about something? And I said, yeah, for sure. She says, I don't think you're really a gentleman to me. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you don't hold the door open for me, and you always walk in front of me. And I was like, whoa. I can remember being a kid, and if I didn't hold the door open, I was getting smacked upside the head. So I'm like, I hold the door open for everyone. And then she's like, okay, yeah, you do. And then but why are you always walking in front of me? I can't walk at her pace. She's 5'2", and she takes 3 steps for every one of mine. So I am aware that even with my kids, kids dragging their feet, and I walk at it and I stop. Okay, I will do better. But I am definitely a gentleman. So then I bought her flowers yesterday, and I'm like, remember all those times I cook for you? And she's really bad she won't eat the entire day sometimes. She just forgets. So I'll call her up, and we're like, every time I get in my truck at work, first thing I do, I call her.
Yeah.
Even if it's for 5 minutes. I'm like, have you eaten today? She's like, oh no, I forgot. Thanks for reminding me. And so I'm reminding her all these things, these small, acts of service. And then she made the joke. She's like, I'm going to make a TikTok video, and I'm going to say, if you want your man to be more of a gentleman, tell him he's not, and then he'll quickly turn around. Took offense to it.
That's so good, the relationships, eh? And it's like how we got to serve each other, and what are we doing, what aren't we doing, and how it feels like we're doing something sometimes when we're actually not, and working that back and forth. It's the same thing, it's like I don't get to see Lisa every day, every morning, because you got it. You get up at 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get home, you have a specific routine. I'd love to hear what your routine is, because it's like I'm a big routine person. And the first 4 hours of the day, I'm pretty regimented on exactly when I do things, how I do things, and what I'm doing in those times. So it's like you don't see your partner all the time, and then I see her, and it's like I get 5 minutes to say, I always make sure that she knows that before I leave, and I don't fudge it. I tell her the truth, because that's really how I feel. But I tell her she looks beautiful, and you have a fantastic day, and to really enjoy it, and that I really mean it. And it's like I do that 7 days in a row, every single day. And it's like an important thing to do, because it's like it makes me feel good to know that I've acknowledged her. Mm-hmm. And it's also important to know that I've actually paid attention to her, because it's not all about me. So it's like you have those routines you do in the morning, and like whether it's holding the door open or, because I'm like you. Whenever I didn't hold that door open for somebody, there was a cloud in the back of my ear. Mm-hmm. And it's like, bam, and you deserved it, because you didn't think about other people. So it's like that it was ingrained in us when we were kids, obviously.
For sure.
And I'm very thankful that happened, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
But it's like those simple little things that make a big difference.
Yeah. There was a study, and it was if one partner leaves before the other one wakes up, which we both do. If you go over and you give your partner a kiss, even if they don't wake up, that person who received the kiss is actually happier throughout the day. Their subconscious knows that you came over and you did that.
Oh, so this is interesting you say this, because I didn't know that. I had no idea about that. But I realized this. What was this? A couple of years after Lisa and I were together. One morning, I didn't come over and say goodbye or wished her a good day or gave her a kiss on the cheek before I left for work. And she sent me a message later saying, is something wrong? And I'm like, no, nothing's wrong. It's actually perfect. Well, you didn't say goodbye to me this morning. You didn't give me a kiss on the cheek, or like, what's going on? I was like, holy shit. It makes that much of a difference in her. Mm-hmm. And I was like, from that moment forward, I was like, okay, I'm not going to screw that up again.
I actually had that exact scenario play out last week. So part of my routine, I get up 4:30, get up, let the dog out, get dressed, go right to the gym, come back home. I cook some of my food for the day. If my kids are with me, wake them up before I go. Janelle wakes up, give her a hug. And then before I leave, it's kind of a joke. I'll be like, hey, I'm leaving. And she goes, wait. She comes down, always give her a hug and a kiss.
Yeah.
And then this day, I was running behind, went out to the truck. Usually I go to the truck, bring my bag, and then come back in for that hug and the kiss. And then I was so focused on getting to work, I got in my truck, and then I drove away. And then she had come downstairs, and I never came back in. So she called me, and she was like, you didn't give a hug and a kiss. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, turned around, came back. I'm so sorry. Like I was just so focused on work for that, gave her that hug and the kiss, but it just shows how much that small gesture, it's 10 seconds, but how much that means to her. And it means a lot to me as well.
Yeah. That appreciation, eh? Mm-hmm. Isn't it like amazing when you get set in these routines and you find out what makes a big difference, and that is a big part of it. Not as like you go to the gym, you work out for you you're doing it for both of you, to show self-respect and to be healthy, live longer. And you do all these things in the morning that are part of this routine that make up this beautiful day. And it makes up the most impressive opportunity for you to set yourself up to win the day. Because when you do these things every single day, you know that you feel good after you've done them. And the rest of the day is like downhill. Mm-hmm. It's like so much easier. But when you miss and you skip that, we don't have the same day. I don't know if you do or other people do, but I know that if I don't follow my routine that day, I'm off. Mm-hmm. And I got to pull myself back on. I got to stop what I'm doing. I got to cancel a meeting. I got to go get a workout. I got to, there's something missing from that day when I don't start this way.
I don't think I've ever had a bad day when I started out with a run or a workout, ever.
Yeah.
They're all good. I think I have to run like 15 kilometers tomorrow, so I'll get up and I'll run at like 4:30. That's the hardest part of my day. Yeah. Getting up and when it's still dark out, and I mean it's a little chilly in the morning still, and I go out there, and I ran all winter. We had a beautiful winter as far as for runners go. I only wore tights 3 times. It was shorts every single day.
Wow.
But I mean, when I'm running at 5 a.m. and it's pitch black out and it's windy and I got my buff on and a toque, and that's the hardest part of my day. Nothing else will even come close to running in, -8 in a pair of shorts.
Yeah, no doubt. Good for you for thinking like that and just making it happen, right? Like, it's like, we think it's so hard. And it's actually not hard. We make it as hard as it could be. And you look at the rest of the things you do for the day, and it's like, I'm getting physical activity. Mm-hmm. And this is challenging to do, to be consistent, because I'm torturing myself. But everything is so simple after that. Wow, easy.
It's what we used to do when we were still hunter-gatherers.
Yeah.
Physical activity wasn't something you had to go do. It's just what you did.
Yeah.
And now it's what we do is sit and eat and be sedentary. And then we have to program in times to be active. Whereas before, you programmed in times to not be active. We've kind of flipped that whole role.
Absolutely. It's like here's another one too. This just happened to me the other day. So we look at that caveman, or where our beginnings were. And it's like how challenging these things were due. When we were cavemen, there was no good, bad, or ugly. You did it because if you didn't do it, you were going to fucking die.
And starve to death.
Yeah. So it's like we had a staff meeting 2 weeks ago, one of our leadership things, and I shared my story for the first time with everybody, so everybody can understand, what's turned me around and what makes me tick, and then what's got me to this point. And it was a really funny thing because the team thought that I just loved to get up at 4:30, and the team thought that I just was this programmed this way, and I was robotic, and everything was fucking awesome. And he did it because he loves it, and it's super easy. And they thought I was like this, I don't know,
machine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I told them that morning, I'm like, I fucking hate getting up at 4:30 some mornings. Like, most mornings, if I'm going to be honest, because who wants to get out of a warm, comfy bed? So it was like really interesting because they were like, oh, we always thought you just loved that. And I'm like, fuck no. I do it to keep my discipline, and I do it to keep myself honest, and I do it to keep my program running because I want a certain result and an outcome. And if I don't do this, I don't get the outcome. They're like, oh, well, thank you for sharing this because we thought you just fucking loved this.
Just a machine. They thought you just programmed that way. They didn't know that you'd built that into your life to be the person you are.
Yeah. So and that's why I think it's so cool that you're doing this podcast, because I think it's really cool at whatever level that we're at, the people that are out there listen to it. It's like there's always some golden nuggets for people to take away, because it happens because people share their story. And I think that's that's super, super cool about this. So way to go, man. This is awesome.
Thank you. I know there's a lot of things that you've said today that after we edit it, I'm going to go back and actually take notes on things that you've said, because there's a lot that I know already that I can pull away from some of the stories you've said and how you've navigated some really difficult times.
Cool. You know what? That's what this is about. Let's just, if we can help and share some stories and people get some knowledge or at least some sort of benefit, right?
I think they will for sure. So.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a great spot for us to end it, just because I know that we'll probably sit here for another 2 hours otherwise. I got one last question though. With your book, are you giving yourself like a deadline for that to keep yourself on pace, to keep yourself disciplined with making sure you put in the time, the research, the writing?
That's a really good question. That's helping hold me accountable. So thank you. No, I haven't actually nailed that down or put my energy into that. We're dealing with a spring rush right now, and then I'm dealing with some coaching. So once, and here it is, we call it an excuse or whatever, I'm on a bit of overload right now. Once I get through this, I'm going to sit down and be fully committed and just nail it down. But when I do it, I'm going to give myself like 12 months, and I plan to like rock it out. One of my mentors said, if you're going to really do it, you're going to do it, and you're going to pre-sell the book so that you are absolutely fucked if you go sideways and you don't do it, and you're really going to hold your feet to the fire. So there's going to be some sort of thought process go into that with some of my mentors before I really dive in and just say, okay, I'm booking this and we're going to do it.
Well, fucking do it or don't, right?
Yeah.
All in or not.
Yeah, totally.
Well, that was awesome. I think this is the best one yet. It was a pleasure to have you on. I can't wait to have you on again. We'll maybe after your spring rush and you've had after you go see Dan Martell again. I'd love to hear more about that. I actually had some notes written down, and talking about your experience with Dan was one of them. But as I said, there's no framework for this. It's just kind of go where it is. I'd like to end with, keep the beard, man. You rock that salt and pepper. Fucking awesome.
Sweet, brother. Thanks, man. It was totally good. It was a pleasure to be here.
It was a pleasure to have you.
Definitely come back on again. We'll have some more fun. We'll pick it up where we leave off.
Yeah, I have more questions to ask you after off camera. So, hey, thanks for coming on.
Awesome, man.
There you go.